Welcome to the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. I'm Lauren Hill, joined with Ken Oda and Evan Epstein, and we are getting you ready for game one in Mason City this weekend against the North Iowa Bulls. So, very long car trip to Mason City. Evan, this is your first time in Mason City. What are you looking forward to seeing this weekend, just in general?
Yeah, the first series in January that I was here for was back and forth against the North Iowa Bulls. It was very physical. I'm looking forward to see how round two plays out. The Bulls had a beautiful arena, but I heard it doesn't get all that full in there. So we'll see what the atmosphere is like. But either way, it should be a good series.
Yeah, Ken, you've been in the arena before. What's it like?
Yeah, it's a great broadcasting perch. It's a really nice arena. It's just a shame it's not more full on game nights for them, but that overall probably helps the Toros, right? It could be a very tough place to play if they packed it, but since they don't, it makes it a little bit easier for the visiting team.
I like to hear it. Well, let's take a look at the recap from last Saturday's 5-2 win over the Watertown Shamrocks.
It's the Shamrocks that got on the board first. Zach Boren sent a pass through multiple defenders down to the corner. Carter Sproul quickly centered it for Cam Markham, who got the puck by Lucas Fedin to give the Shamrocks a 1-0 lead. That lead would not hold for long as Davin Nichols picked up the puck right off the draw, turned and tucked the puck into the upper left corner of the net to tie the game up at 1. Then later in the period, just 10 seconds into the Toros power play, John Small would score with Braden Jockums getting in the way of Shamrock's goalie Phil Lashaw's vision. And the Toros weren't done there. John Small intercepting a pass in the neutral ice. This time, Small finds Landon Fleming. Fleming's initial shot was saved, but Ian Spencer was right there on the doorstep to clean up the loose change and gives the Toros a 3-1 lead. 3 goals was not enough for the Toros in the first period. With the Toros on the penalty kill, John Small intercepted the puck in the neutral ice, gave it to Ian Spencer, who scored his second goal less than 5 minutes apart, and the Toros took a 4-1 lead into the first intermission. The Shamrocks tried to claw back in the second period. In between all the fighting and chaos, the puck floated out to Justin Bartley with no one in front of him, and Bartley capitalized on the opportunity, cutting the Toros' lead to 4-2. The Toros would add an insurance goal in the third. After a weird bounce off the boards, Parker Newman took a stab at the puck before Lashaw could fall on it, and the Toros would go on to win 5-2, picking up their 9th straight victory, tying a franchise record. A win tonight in North Iowa would set the franchise record at a 10-game winning streak. Another record to watch out for. Jack O'Hannesson did not record a point in that game last Saturday against Watertown. He still needs 1 point to hold the all-time Toros record for points by himself.
Well, now you're stepping on my player to watch, Evan.
Wouldn't want to do that.
You're stepping on Ken's toes for the last 3 weeks with that. All right, well, now let's turn our attention back to tonight's game in Mason City with a look at the updated Noodles numbers brought to you by Noodles & Company of Minot. So with that weekend sweep last weekend against Watertown, our Minotauros stand at 29-9-1 as we are second in the Central Division, as North Iowa is 14-18-5 as they stand at sixth in the Central Division.
Yeah, Toros inching closer and closer to hopefully clinching a playoff spot in the not too distant future. We've obviously controlled the head-to-head with these guys. 8-0 against them last year, 3-1 against them this year. So the numbers also reflect the Toros' overall dominance of North Iowa. So hopefully tonight goes along with the numbers.
I think the key to watch here, the Toros allowed just 1.74 goals per game, and Lucas Fedin has been even better than that number. If the Toros can continue to lock down defensively, and if Fedin can stay hot, that should spell success this weekend in North Iowa.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing to point out is the amount of penalty minutes that we have. Obviously, we've stated this many of times. The Toros tend to not put themselves in the box, and a lot of teams in the Central Division tend to place us or themselves into the box. Hopefully, we'll have less of that than we had last weekend in Mason City. But
Past
we'll be
trips to
back.
North Iowa are any indication, I would expect to see plenty of penalty minutes for both squads this weekend.
Well, hopefully, we'll have a little fewer again. That was that was a whole lot last weekend. All right, we'll be back with more of the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show after a quick word from our partners.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Welcome back. It's time to look at our Minotauros Booster Club players to watch, and I'm going to kick it off tonight with my choice of Gavin Middendorf. This name has been all up in this section of our Booster Club players to watch. I'm simply picking him, obviously. He has some facts to back up his work here. 7 shots on goal, 2 goals in January against the North Iowa Bulls back when we played them in the beginning of the year. But the main thing with this is that I made jokes on it last week and the week before that. We've chosen him every single week, every single game since he's arrived. And we didn't choose him last Saturday, and he didn't score. So I think that we need to keep him in the rotation here for his own good. But yeah, Gavin Middendorf was my choice tonight.
Yeah, only the second time he's played a game for the Toros and not scored since being acquired over Christmas break. Speaking of guys who score a lot, Jack O'Hannison, as we talked about earlier, picked him pretty much every game since New Year as we've been on record watch. Hopefully this is the last time that I have to pick Jack for a little bit. He gets the point tonight and sets the record as the most points in Cream and Cardinal.
I'm going with the only guy on the squad that's put up more points than Jack O'Hannison this season, Ian Spencer. Spencer had 2 goals last Saturday against the Shamrocks. He had 2 assists the night before. And as just mentioned, he now leads the team with 50 points this season. I think Spencer stays hot tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I like all of our picks there. That'll bring us to our home key group keys to the game. Ken, what are your keys? And maybe a little hint to your theme for tonight's game.
Yeah, Toro's looking to keep the music alive here on the win streak. We'll start first with Midnight Shift. Last time the Toros saw North Iowa, they lost the Friday game literally in the final second of the game. Unlike last year, this Bulls team doesn't quit and roll over. We saw a lot of blowouts last year against these guys. We've a lot more fight from North Iowa this year. Toros need to play to the final horn. They didn't do that on the Friday game on January 3rd, and they paid the price. Learning the game. We've talked a lot about the Toros' new additions, especially Gavin Middendorf, 15 points in 11 games. But I've also been impressed with the development of Braden Jochums and Noah Gibbs. They have a goal and 3 assists combined in the last 4 games. Compare that to the 4 games before that when they first got here, when they had just 1 assist combined. So they're starting to develop some chemistry on that third line. If the latter 2 can give the Toros 3 lines with scoring punch, this team is going to be pretty near unstoppable given the defense and goaltending they've been getting.
Yeah, and I think you look at Noah Gibbs, it's just a matter of time before he finds the back of the net. Gibbs had 6 shots on goal last game against the Shamrocks. He picked up an assist in that game. But, you know, sometimes for a guy to get going, you just need to see one go in. And for Gibbs, he's just got to keep putting pressure on the net.
Yeah, 14 points in 30 games with Janesville before he got here. 40 points with Janesville last season, 15 goals and 25 assists. So we know he has the offensive ability. Just a matter of getting, like you said, Evan, one to go in and get the confidence rolling. And our final home key group, key to the game, you're the one. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Jack O'Hannison. He can become the number 1 point man in Toro history. And also, this team can set some records tonight as well. So time to come out and set the new standard for the Toros tonight here against North Iowa.
I like it, Ken. Do you have a theme? Is it
Oh, there's
obvious,
definitely a
okay.
theme. So we'll see if our fans can pick up on it.
All right. Well, we'll be back with more of the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show after this commercial break.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Minotauros fans, it's time to take out your phones and pull up the Taros mobile app for your chance to win prizes throughout tonight's game. Starting with our 4 Bears Sportsbook over-unders. Our first one is total Taros power play opportunities over-under 3.5.
I'm going to take the over here. You look at the last series against North Iowa. North Iowa committed 5 penalties in each of those 2 games. They tend to commit a decent amount of penalties, and these 2 teams are very physical when they play against each other. I think the Toros will have more than 3.5 power play opportunities tonight.
I'm going over as well, despite the one-sided nature of the rivalry the last year and a half. It's still been a pretty heated rivalry. So I would expect that to carry over. And as we talked about during the Noodles numbers, this North Iowa team not exactly noted for their discipline. So I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I'm going to go off Ken's point there. The 602 penalty minutes, 4th most in the Central Division, kind of points out that they like to be in the box. Again, I mentioned that when we talked about the Noodles numbers. I'm going to go over here. I do think that we will have plenty of power play opportunities throughout tonight's game and just this weekend in general. Our second one is total Taros goals allowed over under 2.5.
I'm going to go under here. We look at the Noodles numbers. North Iowa does score a lot more than they did last year, almost 3 goals a game for these guys, but Toros defense has been suffocating of late, and Lucas has been playing fantastic behind them. So I'm expecting the Toros to hold North Iowa to under 2. Certainly
2.
under 3.
That's fair. I think total Taros goals, I'm going to go over for this. Like we just said with the last question, they tend to be a very physical team when playing against us. That I think tonight's going to be just a very interesting game as a whole. Fridays usually are interesting. And we're in Mason City, so anything can happen in Mason City, right?
I'm going to take the under here. I think you look at Lucas Svedin and what he's done. Svedin, second best save percentage in the NAHL, .946. And along with that, he's also played the most minutes in the league. So he's got a lot of playing time to back up his impressive stats. I think he holds the Bulls to under 2.5 tonight.
All right, and that'll lead us to our last over-under, which is total Taros shot differential over-under plus 5.5. I'm going to go over on this one. I know that we tend to be questionable on these of like, are we going to hit it? Are we going to hit that number? Are we going to go below it? The Taros have been out shooting their opponents by plenty, and every time we have one of these shot differential questions, we tend to hit the over. So I'm just going to go with the pattern and go with over.
This one's an interesting one. I'm looking back at last series against North Iowa. On Saturday, the Toros got 54 shots on goal, a monstrous number. On Friday, it was just 32. The difference is Friday was a weird game with a lot of delays on the ice, which really stopped either side from picking up momentum. I look at that game too, and I think the Toros are going to be able to replicate it. I think they're going to be able to put up a lot of shots on goal, and I think they will outshoot the Bulls by a healthy margin tonight.
Similarly, you look at the last time the Toros were here, the Friday night, Toros outshot North Iowa 44-16 and won 7-1. The next night, 34-26 in a 6-5 win for the Toros. So I think overall, Toros, even when the shots do tighten up, Toros still over that 5.5 number. So I'm going to take the over on the 5.5, which I think means we all agreed on all of the over-unders. So yes. Not a lot of drama there. That'll bring us to our McDonald's Toros trivia question, which I believe all of us know the answer, so we'll leave it up to the fans at home to get their guesses in. What is the Toros record for shots on goal in a game? They set it against North Iowa. The options 70, 66, 62, or 58. And again, you both know the answer, right?
Yes. So we're not going to answer. But yeah, if you want a hint, you can go back and go rewatch pregame shows from back in November. But other than that, do y'all have any final thoughts on game one in Mason City tonight?
These are two teams that are trending in opposite directions right now. Toros have won 9 in a row. The Bulls have lost 4 in a row. And I think for the Toros, I mean, this isn't exactly high-level analysis, but if you can get started early and keep that momentum that you have coming into this weekend, then that should spell a pretty easy win on Friday night.
Yeah, looking at it, I haven't gone through and checked yet. I'll be doing that later this afternoon. As far as yesterday's trade deadline, if North Iowa made any moves, I know we did not. So it'll be interesting to see, who's in the lineup for North Iowa. But should on paper be another easier night for the Toros. But with the records they're looking to set, that does add a little extra pressure. So I think tonight, the question isn't so much how will the Toros handle North Iowa, but how will the Toros handle the pressure of trying to set the records. And I think if nothing else, that's a good thought experiment, at least for the postseason coming up, putting pressure on games that might otherwise not have that same amount of pressure. I think it'll be a good test for the guys and how they handle it.
All right. Well, I'm excited for you all to be in Mason City tonight and watch. But that'll do it for the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. We'll send you out for one more break, and then Ken and Evan will be back with the drop of the puck right here on the Minotauros Network.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
The horn sounds. Toros, our Central Division champions.
Drives in. Ian Spencer.
It's off far side, shrugged away by Lucas Swedden.
He shot it in. Toros win. Shot it in. Toros win.
John Evans is second of the night. Is there a better place to play junior hockey than Minot, North Dakota? Hello and welcome into the Southbridge Mall in Mason City, Iowa, and the aptly named Mason City Arena. We're getting you ready for Toros and North Iowa Bulls. As always, I'm Ken Oda. Evan Epstein is alongside. And Evan, Toros looking to rewrite the record books tonight.
Yeah, in a couple of ways. The Toros on a 9-game winning streak. A 10-game winning streak would set the franchise record. Jack O'Hannison 1 point away from holding the record of most points all time for the Toros. So a couple of records to keep an eye on tonight.
Puck is down. We are underway. Toros working left to right on your computer monitor, smart device, however you are tuned into the Minotauros network. They're wearing the traveling black. As there's a quick shot from Fuji Suzuki. Fought off by Lucas Swedden, and Toros look to control on the far side. It's Uhala. Uhala fights through a hook, gets ridden into the wall, keeps possession, and then rings it to the far side for Batten. Batten lost the race, but help came from Perreault. Perreault quickly up for O'Hannison. O'Hannison touches it into the zone, but the Bulls are back on it. Thrown ahead out to neutral. Billy Batten tries to hand it off. It's picked up by Yohala. Yohala dumps it in. Toros will peel off and change, except for Batten, who applies pressure. Out to play is Osgun, the goaltender for the North Iowa Bulls. We'll take a look at our goaltending matchup in just a bit. Severson dumps that in for the Bulls. Mindorf on it. Starts up ice. Carries ahead. Pass swatted away. And then picked up. This is Malentino. Malentino plays it to the middle. Jordan Gibbs takes it away. He feeds Spencer. Spencer ahead for Mindorf. Mindorf apparently did not tip that on the way by, and it leads to a Minot's Finest Collision Center icing.
We'll take a look at our starting lines here tonight. Billy Batten, Jesse Yohala, and Jacko Hannison were on the ice to begin the night, along with Kevin Perreault and Adam Mahler. Lucas Svedin back between the pipes for the Toros, as Svedin has been terrific in the month of January. Goalie of the month in the NAHL.
A well-deserved honor for the Toro netminder. Won all 8 contests he started in January. This carried ahead by Spence. He drops for Mindorf, right back to Spencer. Spencer had Small going back post, but the pass interrupted, and the Bulls will go the other way. Osborne dumps that in. It'll ring to the far side and hacked right back into the Toro zone. Swedes out of his net will stop for Ty James. The Iowa native ahead for Small. Small gave to Mindorf, who has trouble on the near side, but does gain the red and dump it deep. Noah Gibbs is after it. However, the Bulls get there first. They'll spin it to the near side. Carried ahead by Miller, who has trouble. And then played it in offside for a whistle, and then a late hit by Noah Gibbs. That surprisingly draws no reaction from North Iowa.
Well, offsides brought to you by Affinity First Federal Credit Union, as we're 2 minutes and 11 seconds into this matchup. The only shot on goal came about 8 or so seconds into the game. An aggressive play by Fuji Suzuki in the Toro zone, and he got a good look on Svedin. But Svedin was ready from the get-go tonight.
Toros control the draw on the restart. Mahler from his own zone ahead for Jochums, who tips it into the zone, then hooks to hunt it down himself, throws one off the blocker of Osgun. Puck rolled deep again. Mahler pinching down from the point, keeps it alive with help from Noah Gibbs. Noah Gibbs, his shot into a shin pad, and it's going to go the other way. Good stick by Noah Gibbs. Blocks off the pass from Weirun, and the Toros control. Perreault hands to Noah Gibbs. Noah gains the line and rolls it deep. Toros were changing. Edwards up on the pressure, almost takes it away. The Bulls get it back. This is Weirun on the attack. Gains the line, cuts the middle, then drops it for no one but the Toros. Edwards. Newman. He scored last game for the Toros. He's ahead for Dane Ramirez. Back in the middle for Edwards. He was tied up. Toros look to keep it alive, though. This is Edwards looking for help from Ramirez. Puck taken away and spun ahead, though, for the Bulls. Far side, quickly up ice.
Svedin was almost caught out of position there, but he returns to the crease safely.
Far side, they dig along the boards. Ramirez couldn't find the handle. Long shot, sashayed to the near side wall by Swedes. Puck popped in behind the goal line. Jordan Gibbs moves it to Tui. Tui looks across. Dumped in by the Toros. Ramirez. He'll peel off to change, as do the rest of the Toros, allowing the Bulls to gather this up from their own zone. Pressure coming. Crawford lets it roll. It'll come all the way to the near side, and Clark in neutral. Dumped back in by the Toros. They pressure. Hannison hands it off behind the net. Out front for Yohala. His shot is blocked.
Well, they didn't get that shot to go, but it was great work on the forecheck from O'Hannison and Spencer to gain the puck behind the net and then create an opportunity.
Batten and Yohala playing a two-man game. Now they end up dumping it behind the net. Clark, can he keep it at the point? He cannot. It's a delayed offside, so the Toros have to peel back. Toros are without a couple of familiar names this trip. No Landon Fleming, no Leo Sabulis, both suspended from the penalty fest last Saturday.
Yeah, that was a very physical night in Watertown. A lot of fighting. Most of it was instigated by Watertown, particularly later in that second period. Overall, though, the Toros did a good job of staying calm and shutting down the Shamrocks to pick up a 5-2 victory.
Mahler looks across, but the short version of that is the Toros have no extra bodies on this trip. So the lineup tonight will be the lineup tomorrow night, barring injury or suspension. So I imagine we'll see the Toros at least trying to be on their best behavior for this one. John Small spinning in his own zone. Finds Adam Mahler, who banks one ahead for Spencer. Spence drops it back for Perot, who's joined the rush. He flips it deep into the corner. Liam Bard back on it. The puck jammed out to neutral. Rolls all the way back to the circles of the Toro zone. Perot plays ahead, but not out. Mahler able to just force that pure strength of will to get that out to neutral ice. But the Bulls are quickly back on the attack. 2-on-1. If they hurry, it's a cross, and the pass was off the mark. Osborne would have been one-on-one with Swedes if he could have reached that. Fortunately for the Toros, he could not.
Yeah, Michael Malatino's pass was just too far in front of him, went off the toe of the stick, and not much he could do to corral it. As we take a look at the numbers from Lucas Vadin, goals against average, third in the NAHL, second in save percentage at .946. He's played the most minutes out of any goalie in the league at somewhere over 1,700.
Draw in the Toro zone.
Weirin has it far corner, sent to pass in, and now it's knocked out near side.
Owens takes over, tried to fire one up ice for Jockums, but Johnson skied together. Weirin looks across. He wanted Johnson crashing in the slot, but Toros break it up, and now they'll roll it into the offensive zone. Owens and Jockums after it, but it's moved to the near side. Tui keeps it at the point. He'll just chip it down in the corner. I think that was a pass intended for Owens. That was off the mark. And now it's thrown out to neutral, and the lights have gone out.
And not only did the lights turn off, the power might have been off to the building. As you saw, it wasn't just the lights up top.
It was down in the tunnels, everything.
Yeah.
We still had power up here, so I don't know what happened.
Well, let's hope that was
there was a power outage at the
one-time
hotel this morning as well, so if you're an electrician in Minot who's looking for work, you might want to hop in the car and head about 12 hours east. It would seem they're in need of help out here. Ty James rings this to the near side. Gustafson keeps it in the Toro zone. Looks in the middle, he wanted Hodis, but it was broken up. Anthony McIntosh has his pass deflected, and now Chuck Owens charging ahead, looking into the middle. He had Jockums, but the pass was off the mark. Puck freed back up. Jockums turning on the far side. Lost it off his backhand. It'll be gathered up instead by Izwawi. Izwawi plays it to the near side. Quick up. Tack to tape for Gustafson, who rolls it into the Toro zone. Stopped there by Swedes. He'll hand off to Clark.
That line of Gibbs, Owens, and Jockums has done a good job of creating space on the ice. Jockums got one shot on net already, but they haven't been able to find the open man despite having him in space.
Deemer on the rush. Good poke check by Ty James. We've got several social media check-ins as well. We'll get to you as time allows us. There's a long shot kicked away by Swedes. Rebound gathered up by Ramirez. I noticed the lights still haven't come on in the tunnels. Far side, Ramirez. Ramirez tries a shot, it sails wide. Mahler pinching down from the point, keeps it alive, hands to Nichols. Ramirez bumped down by Deemer. Puck put in behind the net for Liam Bard, whose brother used to be a North Iowa Bull, but is not now. That has to be a little awkward. This one flipped into the near corner. Mahler up ice. Batten comes across for Ohannesson. Ohannesson fans on the shot and then flips it in behind the net. Working with it is Yohala. Carries the hash marks on the near side. Back to the point, and Mahler. Shot goes wide to the far side. Jammed out to neutral. Be gathered up by Osborne. Osborne hands off. Driving the net for a shot that was blocked by a good stick from Mahler was Klauscher. Puck comes to the side of the net. Good stick by Swedes. Hands off to Perot. Perot dancing away from Osborne. Up the near wall, O'Hannison hands to Yohala. Yohala fakes a pass, but has his pocket picked. O'Hannison will roll this on net. Osgun hands off to Johnson. Johnson looks back across for Cash Crawford. Quick up, finds Osborne. Osborne dumps it into the Toro zone. Tui looking to turn quickly. Squeezes up the wall, fights through a check. Poked at the blue line, however, and then goes sliding into the offensive zone. Weirin trying to take advantage, but John Small's back. They find the trailer, Severson. And the Bulls take a 1-0 lead. And I can't tell you how much time is on the clock because the scoreboard goes away when they score.
It was a good play by Cole Weirin driving in on the net. Weirin realized that John Small was in front of him. He couldn't do it himself, so wisely dropping it back for Severson, who was wide open from the right wing. And Severson was able to capitalize as we take a look at the replay here. Yeah, Weirin had nothing but his trailer, Severson. No Toros were on him.
Dumped into the offensive zone by the Bulls off the draw. There was 10:54 left in the first when the Bulls scored that one. A long shot, that sails wide. Rebound to the near side. McIntosh down the wall. Severson hands back to McIntosh. McIntosh tosses it to the far corner. Severson keeps it alive. Severson hands off behind the net. Fuji Suzuki for Weirin. One-timer save made, and the rebound scooped up and reeled back in.
All right, let's take a look.
Lucas Swedin.
Sorry about that, Ken. Let's take a look at some social media check-ins. Jacob Schmidt, let's go Toros. Dan Heald checking in from Narnia. There we go. The Caneros checking in from Richardton. Kim Bartel checking in from Bozeman. This Lucas Smistad checking in from Minot. Coates family checking at they're at Mesa Arena at the Beavers game right now, but they're keeping an eye on the Toros game here in North Iowa, as is Mary Vigna.
Poked ahead by Yohala, but not out. Bulls have the Toros pinned. Adam Mahler back on this, quickly ahead. Arm is up. Can Yohala save icing? He's racing, but Deemer had a step and won the race. Toros getting outshot 5-2 and trail 1-0.
And Ken, this appears to be a pattern for the Toros as of late. Has been starting a little bit slow as we take a look at the stats from Kyle Osgun, allowing 3.043 goals per game. Save percentage, .908. Osgun didn't play much in that series against the Toros in January, as Hirshhorn played most of night one and night two. Osgun made a short appearance on Friday, made one save, allowed one goal before Hirshhorn came back into the game after a brief injury.
Toros hacked that out to neutral to be picked up by Bard. He'll look across to the near side. It's Dietz. Dietz drops it back for Bard. It's the Toros pressure, forcing the Bulls the wrong way down the ice. This is Manlove looking across. That's an offside play, and a bit of a different look to this Bulls team. A few new players. We've got Brody Dietz, who was acquired from the Anchorage Wolverines. They also picked up, as I scroll my roster, Teddy Manlove's been here a while. I thought they had picked up another player from...
They picked up Avon Pyle.
That's right. Avon Pyle from the Mallards. This one carried ahead by Batten. Ahead, Yohala couldn't find it. Now the Toros do take it away. Batten throws it down in the corner for Yohala, but Cash Crawford is there. Throws to the near side. That gets out to neutral. Dumped back in by Perot. Up the near side, Manlove finds the handle and then flips one on net. It'll be played by Swedes. Tui carries ahead, gains the red line, and flips it into the glove of Osgun.
Nice job by Connor Tui to follow that one up and force Osgun to hang on to it, giving the Toros a drop down in their attacking zone, as Tui was having some words after that one.
Yeah, Tui went in with a hard stop, sprayed some snow on Osgun, much to the dismay of Evan Johnson. Toros offensive zone draw. Edwards out to take it. Nichols and Newman on his wings. 50-50 draw. Nichols got dumped down. Puck squirts back to the point. Gibbs with a long shot. It hit Edwards and laid free in front. Flicked ahead. Tui able to keep it down the wall. Puck pinballs around and eventually comes back out to neutral. Soft chip into the Toro zone. Won't go far enough for icing, so Jordan Gibbs has to play. Gibbs hands off to Nichols, scaring the entire Toro bench in the process. Nichols trying to gain the line, but he's poked at the blue. Tui looks across for Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs gains the red, dumps it deep. Osgun out of his net. Parker Newman up on the pressure. Bulls try to escape to the far side. It's rolled into the Toro zone. Clark played that. That was out to neutral. Shot save made. That was out of the Toro zone by a foot and resulted in a good scoring chance anyway.
And it was right in front of the linesman as well.
Ty James trying to sneak in off a feed from Spencer. It didn't get through. The tough part for the linesman, he had to jump up on the boards to stay out of the play. I think for a moment lost sight of the puck at his feet. Dumped into the Toro zone in the near side corner. Ty James back after it. James plays to the far. It's taken away by the Bulls, thrown in front, but Ty James with a good stick takes it away. Mindorf ahead, off the mark as Wowie plays it back to the Toro blue line. Ty James hit up high as he tried to play that ahead. Dumped cross corner. Ty James everywhere on this shift. Now he's on the far side, plays back to the near and Clark. Clark finds Spencer. Spencer picking his way in, and now Spencer upended with a slew foot. Meanwhile, Mindorf looking to carry in. And we've got a delayed call on the touch. It's going to be a hook, and the Toros will go to the First Western Bank and Trust power play with 7:05 left to go here in period number one. The Toros trailing by a goal.
Toros 23.75% on the power play, second in the league, and they need a little bit of momentum right now after a sluggish start to this game. I mean, usually you look at lines number 1 and 3, Spencer, Small, and Middendorf, Batten, Yahala, and Ohanneson, as creating a lot of action for the Toros. But it's been the other two lines that have caused more of the opportunities. Gibbs, Owens, Jochums, and Ramirez, Edwards, and Newman. But we'll see if the first unit for the Toros power play will get something going and possibly tie this one up.
Valentino goes for the hook, but the Bulls eventually control the draw and send it 200 feet. Eli Miller played his 150th NAHL game, all for the Bulls last weekend. Toros gain the line. Batten into the middle for Ohanneson. Ohanneson walks in, wires it's in. There's the record. Ohanny on the power play. Is now the all-time leading scorer for the Toros. We get another look. They gave Jack Ohanneson just a little too much space. As we get another look, he's allowed to walk right in, pick his spot, and tie this game at 1.
Yeah, the Bulls a little bit laid back on the penalty kill there as Ohanneson picked up his 15th goal of the season.
The Bulls control off the draw, though, and dump it into the Toro zone and get right back to work. Owens cuts this off. Plays to the far side, Noah Gibbs. Noah Gibbs looks to hoist one out. That caught someone on the Toro bench, which leads to a whistle.
And with that, let's take a look at some more social media check-ins.
Hold on a second. Let's just take a moment. Once again, Jack Ohanneson, the officially the Toros' all-time leading point man. He passes Trevor Stahowiak with his 119th career point in the Cream and Cardinal. Congrats again to Jack O'Hannison. Far side, Noah Gibbs has trouble. It's turned over, put in front. Suzuki drops it back to Weirin for a shot that's gloved and held by Swedes.
And with that, now let's take a look at some more check-ins. Kaylee Adash checking in. Reynaldo Goutain, I'm sorry if I mispronounced
Just call him Billet
that.
Ray.
Coming in from Minot. John Kowitz. Sally B, the Chicago crew. And for Jack O'Hannison there, after a scoreless game in Watertown, to break through, not just to get the record in this game, but to get the record early in this game. And that's one less thing the Toros have to worry about now.
Things I have to worry about, I have to start thinking about my player to watch again for the Farmers Union pregame show. This is Weirin into the zone. Long shot, swatted away with the paddle by Swedes. John Small hacks it to the far side. Ian Spencer was pressured, got help from John Small to get that out to neutral. Bulls take over there. Dumped back into the Toro zone by Dietz. Mahler back on it. Adam Mahler hands to John Small. Small gains the red line, flips it deep into the offensive zone. Cash Crawford on it, then comes back to the near side. And Dietz. Dietz feeds Gustafson, who hands to Hodis. Hodis poked at the line by Spencer, but the puck rolls deep in behind the Toro net. Thrown up high. Johnson coming on. Shot blocked by traffic. That stung Adam Mahler, who's slow to get up. Meanwhile, Mindorf looking to attack. Gains the line, tries his shot. It's blocked up and out of play for a whistle.
And it looked like that caught Adam Mahler perhaps in the right leg, as he's not putting any pressure on that, and he's going to be tended to immediately by Meg on the sideline.
I'm sure that's just a stinger for Mahler. Draw will be to the left of Osgun. Edwards line out. He'll take the draw.
Well,
no, he won't. He'll get tossed now, so Newman will step in. This after Luke Gustafson had already been tossed, or stepped in, I'm sorry, for a Bull who had been tossed. Either way, Toros control, but it's back in their own zone. Ramirez touches this deep into the offensive zone. The Bulls play up the far wall, taken away by the Toros, chip back deep. Johnson will again try the far wall. Hodis looking up ice, he turned that over to Ramirez. Ramirez hands to Newman. Newman makes one man miss, now he delays, he finds Edwards up high, shot paddled away, bouncing puck. Newman on his backhand with his back to the goal, tried to swat it towards the cage, it was blocked off. But Newman won a battle behind the net, plays up top, long shot, that skips wide for Clark. Bulls try and go the other way, it's Crawford. Crawford, his dump in, partially blocked, it'll carry him to the far corner. Clark back on it. Clark up the near side, tried to flip it deep, but Deemer takes it away. Deemer looks across, Suzuki, then comes back to the near side, Manlove for a dump in. Azwawi down low. Taken away by the Toros, this is Batten. Bulls take it back, flip it weakly into the Toro zone. Hubert Clark takes over there. He's got Yohala in space. Yohala carrying down the wall. Now he tries to work it back to the point. Tui with a shot, tip out front, doesn't go. Second try for O'Hannison, soaked up by Osgun.
Jack O'Hannison with an opportunity to add on another there, as Tui was working that one through traffic, looking for a deflection out in front. Rebound came right to O'Hannison, but Osgun saw the puck, had it well, and O'Hannison couldn't backhand it past Kyle Osgun.
Offensive zone draw, Yohala line stays out. He'll take this against Noah Deemer. 3.5 left to play in period number 1. Bulls ahead. This is Tui. Banks up the wall. Batten feeds Yohala. It's an offside play. Offside brought to you by our friends at Affinity First Federal Credit Union. More fans checking in on social media. Wally in the Mox. Aunt D and Ohani's dad watching on NAHL TV. I'm sure they're liking what they've seen tonight. The Brits checking in from home. The Spencers are in New Lenox. Danny Held on his way to fix the electrical problems here. The Jockums are in Saskatoon. That's a long drive from Narnia, Danny. This one dumped in. Bulls control in the Toros zone. Scrum in the near side corner. Squirts free. Picked up. Kept at the point for a long shot that goes wide off the stick of Dietz. Toros roll this out to neutral. Dietz back on it there. Flipped ahead for Kalsher. Kalsher hands off for Dietz. Shot save made and then gobbled up by Lucas Sweden. Dietz has been impressive in his North Iowa debut. NAHL trade deadline was this week. He was picked up. Of course, the Bulls making a push. Just a couple games under 500, but about 10 points out on the playoff picture. Trying to fight their way in and grab that 4th and final playoff spot in the Central Division. Toros made their moves early this year. Cody Campbell did all of his shopping at Christmas time. Puck hacked to the near wall. Perreault. After Christmas break when the Toros picked up Mindorf, and then right after Christmas was Jockums and Noah Gibbs. Speaking of Mindorf, here he is. Shot goes wide. John Small on the rebound on the far side half. He's stepped into by Crawford. Puck rung to the near side. Adam Mahler pinches down, throws it towards the front, but he missed wide in the rebound. Karam's all the way down the ice. Perreault back after it. Shots 10-5 in favor of the Bulls. This game tied at 1 late in the first as Small hands off to Spencer. Spencer looking for Mindorf. That pass tipped away. Swedes out of his net will play. Swedes hoist it out to neutral. Spence turning with it. Drops it back. Perreault looks across for Jordan Gibbs. That pass tipped ahead. It ends up going to Mindorf, who couldn't quite corral the Karam off the wall. The Toros play at their own blue. Tui gains the red and flips it deep. Chuck Owens after it. 98 seconds left to go in period number 1, but the Bulls' Weirin takes over in his own zone. Weirin chips out to Suzuki. Suzuki looks across it, hits a skate. Can the Toros catch the Bulls in a change? It's Jockums. Jockums has Noah Gibbs going to the post. Instead, it comes free. Now go Gibbs. Follow-up try hammered home by Jockums. A bad dump in at one end for North Iowa leads to Jockums giving the Toros the lead in a period that they probably don't deserve it. Here's another look at the goal. That bad dump and then a quick up. Jockums takes the initial shot. Save was made. Noah Gibbs tries to follow up. Another stop, but on the backside, Jockums all alone. This is Anthony McIntosh. Shot blockered up and out of play by Swedes. 1:13 left to go here in period number 1. It's now 2-1 Toros. Excuse me. Toros also picked up 3 shots on goal on that rush, so the shot total is now 11-8 in favor of North Iowa. Gibbs and Owens get the assists. Batten and Yohala had the assists on Ohannison's record-setting goal. Yohala finds Ohannison. Ohannison gets the Toros out of their zone, hands to Billy Batten. Batten poked, couldn't gain the line cleanly. McIntosh back on it. Final minute of play brought to you by our friends at Northern Plains Equipment. Here in period number 1, Toros lead 2-1. The Bulls looking to attack. Manlove hands off on the near side. Eli Miller. Miller back to Manlove. Manlove looking in front, but a good stick by Yohala. Breaks it up and plays it out to neutral. The dump in. Rings around to the near side half wall. The Bulls were offside, so that gives Mahler some time. Good to see Mahler not missing a shift after taking that puck to the leg. Taken away by the Bulls, however. Severson, who has their goal, dumps it in. Swedes out of his net, stops for Ty James. James hands up to Yohala. Yohala able to get the Toros out, and Spencer will ring it deep. Final 15 ticks here in period number 1. Will the Bulls attempt to rush? They will. Dietz looks up to the far side. Miller gains the line, tries a shot, save made, and then traffic comes crashing in on Swedes. He's able to hold on for a whistle. 2.3 left in period number 1. Toros lead 2-1. Draw will be to the left of Swedes. Empty net for the Bulls. They want the extra attacker on, so a clean win. The Toros have an outside chance at netting one. It would have to be a real quick shot, though. John Small on the draw. Bulls win it. They throw it on net. They got exactly what they were looking for, but a good stick by Swedes keeps the play from resulting in a goal. We're through 20 minutes. Toros lead the North Iowa Bulls by a score of 2-1. We're going to stay in, not going out to break. We're going to have Evan down on the bench with Jack O'Hannison as soon as John Small would do us the small favor of just getting out of the way. There we go. Just a moment, and then we will have the Toros all-time leading point man. We're down to Evan.
I'm down by the ice with Jack O'Hannison. Jack, you're the all-time leading scorer for the Toros. How does that feel?
It's definitely cool. You know, a lot of great players came out of this organization, so definitely feels good, but the main goal is to win this game here.
Your goal came on the power play to tie it up at 1. How did that play develop?
Just on a breakout, Jess made a good play up to Bats, and then Bats slipped the guy to me, and I just had a little bit of daylight to shoot.
After falling behind early, the Toros came back and now lead 2-1 at the first intermission. What do you guys need to do to hold on to the lead?
Just stick to the process, keep getting pucks deep, and attacking their D, and just playing our systems right.
All right, thanks, Jack, and congrats.
That was Evan Epstein at ice level with Toros all-time leading point producer, Jack O'Hannison. We will send you out to a commercial break. When we come back, the Forebears Casino and Lodge Intermission Report after these messages here on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue. Carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and like so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget,
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
The puck, the net, the crowd, the moment. A chance to make history. Just like that perfect play, we're here to help you win at your financial game. At Great River Federal Credit Union, we offer competitive rates and innovative technology designed to empower you to achieve your goals. Become a member of Great River and score a $100 bonus when you use promo code Hockey100. Visit greatriverfcu.org/Hockey100 for details and open your account. Member NCUA.
We had a member that came into the credit union who doesn't historically come in. She went up to the teller line and said she wanted $25,000 in cash. The teller kind of questioned her about it, and she said, "I'm buying a car," but she was kind of fidgety. And is that when she went to you first?
She had to make a phone call to see who it was payable to, and that was
Which is
red
way
flag.
weird. I mean, that's a huge red flag. And that's kind of when I came up there and I just said, "Are you comfortable coming to my office if we just sit down and talk about this?"
And that's where you took the phone and talked to the person on the other line, right?
Then to hit the button on the phone and disconnect them, for her to say, "Thank you."
I'd rather ask the uncomfortable questions than hear that I just assisted someone losing $25,000.
Perfect. That's when you know you did a good job that day.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts, and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena, appropriately located in Mason City, Iowa. Toros lead the North Iowa Bulls by a score of 2-1 through 20 minutes, but Evan, it wasn't really a great first 20 minutes for the Toros, especially the first 10.
No, not at all, and that's followed a theme even on this 9-game winning streak, is that the Toros have struggled to come out of the gate. They trailed early in the first period in both games at Watertown, and Jack Severson had the first goal here tonight for the Bulls. But for the Toros, they came back on the power play. Jack O'Hannison setting the record as the all-time points leader for the Toros.
Yeah, we get another look at that play that set the record. Toros, oh, this is Severson's goal first. Toros broken up at the blue line, a poor entry, and that would be a theme for the period. Poor entry at one end, the opponent goes the other way and makes the Toros pay, but same thing going the other way. Toros on the power play now. Good entry this time. For some reason, all the defenders sagged off of Jack O'Hannison. He was given time and space and was able to get the Toros the tie and set the record. There's a bad entry by North Iowa. It goes the other way. Jochum's the first shot. Noah Gibbs with the follow-up, and finally the third try, Jochim's able to hammer it home.
Well, that's the first time I saw that one as I was down there behind the bench. So Jochim's picking up his second goal as a Toro. Just to go back to that Jack Ohanneson goal there, it was interesting. Ohanneson had it on the left wing, right? The Toros had the man advantage, and a lot of times you'll see the defender try and cut off the shot. Well, that time he tried to cut off the pass. Ohanneson recognized it. That's why he had so much space and wisely took the shot, and it paid off.
Yeah, they actually had three defenders kind of around Ohanneson, and all three just kind of sagged off and gave him space. They all wanted to take away a pass, and Jack Ohanneson, who has, I believe, 49 goals as a Toro, was allowed to fire that one in, and he'll be potentially, I believe, the first Toro ever to get to the 50 career goal mark if he can get one more this season, and probably not a guy you want to give that much space to.
Well, Ohanneson now just stacking record on record as he continues onward with the Toros, and it's been absolutely fantastic to watch, even just seeing him this month. You can tell how instrumental he is to this team, not only this season, but historically with the Toros.
Well, and his story is an important one, too, in the junior hockey world. You look at a player who came here, and his first year was not consistently scratched, but I believe only played about 39, 40 games. So he had to sit for a third of the games onto the lineup. Unlike a lot of younger players these days, didn't come in, didn't request a trade, didn't demand more playing time. He put in the work, and he came back the next year and was the Toros' leading scorer. So you look at what Jack Ohanneson has done over his career. I think a lot of junior players, at least in my 15 years in Minot and Chicago, 2-3 games into a new place, they say, hey, I'm not getting the shifts I want, or I'm not getting this, I want to trade, I want to get out of here. And Jack Ohanneson didn't do that. He put in the work, and now because of that, he is a franchise all-time leading point man. Here's the Shields scoreboard for the period. Shots on goal 13-8 in favor of North Iowa, but 2-1 the lead in favor of the Toros, thanks in part to that 1-for-1 on the first Western Bank and Trust power play.
Yeah, and the Bulls have controlled possession of the puck for most of this period, and it shows. I think they dominated, like you said, the first 10 to 12 minutes there before the Toros were able to scrap back. And one of your keys in the pregame show, Ken, was Noah Gibbs, Braden Jochims, and Chuck Owens. And on that second goal, all three of those guys got the point. Braden Jochims the goal, Noah Gibbs the primary assist, and Chuck Owens the secondary assist.
Indeed, it is. On occasion, the blind squirrel will find a nut. I will say, after the Jochim's goal, though, only make that 3 shots on goal. The rest of the period, all 3 belong to North Iowa. So the Toros, despite gaining in the lead, did not gain the momentum. We'll take a very short break. We'll call it 90 seconds. We'll be back with the out-of-town scoreboard and more after these messages here on the Minotauros Network.
Hi, I'd like to add my new motorcycle to my insurance policy, please.
Greetings. Is it a moped or unicycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Unicycling enhances core body strength?
No, it's a motorcycle. It has 2 wheels, a seat, handlebars.
Does it have rocket boosters?
Can I speak to a live agent?
Impossible. All agents have been neutralized.
At Farmers Union Insurance, technology is important, and so is finding the best options for our clients, person to person. Farmers Union Insurance. Local agents, more options, great rates.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan Law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena as we take a look at the out-of-town scores during the Forebears Casino and Lodge intermission report. We'll start outside of the division. We'll head to Wisconsin, where the Wendigo have a 4-1 lead on the Janesville Jets. That's in the third period action in New York. Elmira, a 3-2 lead on Danbury. Maine, a 2-1 lead on Northeast. And Johnstown on the road in Maryland, a 3-1 lead on the Black Bears. New Jersey trails New Hampshire 5-2. That's in the second period. Second period action in Philly. The Junior Americans and Rebels are even at aces. Midwest Division play, Springfield and Chippewa, they are scoreless in period number 2. Turning our attention to the Central at the St. Cloud MAC. Austin, a 3-1 lead on St. Cloud. Of course, that series will shift to Austin tomorrow. It's Pink in the Rink night in the Spam Can. Forest Lake Sports Center, the Mallards, a 2-1 lead on the Shamrocks, who, I'm just going to open that box score quickly. I'm wondering if they have enough players to actually dress a full lineup, and no, they don't. Plenty of suspensions from last weekend for them. 2-2 Lone Star and Shreveport, another box score I want to take a peek at. Speaking of suspensions, we thought we had a lot of penalty minutes, 247 between the two teams in Watertown last weekend. Over 700 penalty minutes between Lone Star and Corpus last Saturday night. And Lone Star also 2 players short of a full lineup.
I mean, that game, we were on the car ride back from Watertown, and I'm taking a look at the box score, and I see the numbers of penalty minutes between both sides. I'm like, that can't be right. And you scroll through the laundry list of penalties and ejections in that game. We thought we had an eventful night in Watertown, but, well, everything's bigger in Texas.
Indeed. Speaking of Texas, down in Amarillo, the Wranglers trail at home to Oklahoma 2-1. More Central Division action. It's the first break in the Odie, and the Aberdeen Wings, Gavin Reed, is the home team up 1-0 on the Bismarck Bobcats. Of course, fans, Toros 5 points back of Bismarck, who we see for 2 games next weekend, starting on the Pepsi rink at Mesa Arena on Friday night. So if the Toros can get some help from the Wings, which just feels awful to say, they could close to within passing distance of Bismarck, but a lot of hockey left to be played this weekend before we can really talk about that. New Mexico and Odessa, they're scoreless at the first break. Colorado and El Paso about to get going, and later tonight on the Last Frontier, Kenai and Fairbanks. Speaking of next weekend, next Friday night is Valentine's Day. If you've got a Toro fan in your life and you want to get them something for Valentine's Day, check out the Minotauros Valentine's Day Dash auction. Mystery bags all have Toros merchandise. Some will have surprise autograph items like a team-signed jersey, a team-signed stick, and some of those new Valentine's Day hoodies are in a few of those bags. So, if you haven't seen, the Toros online store open again has the new Valentine's Day hoodies, the new gold hoodies as well. The Magic City hoodies will be wearing the Magic City jerseys Friday and Saturday night. I believe you can get replicas of those in the Toros online shop as well. We're approaching the end of intermission. Final thoughts on period number 1 before we head back out to break, Evan.
Yeah, you mentioned momentum at the end of the period where the Bulls tacked on the final 3 shots, and the Toros definitely didn't play better than the Bulls did that period, but they hold a 2-1 lead. Now the Toros need to go out. They need to flip the momentum, control the puck, and really, they have the lead, but now they need to expand upon it.
Certainly do. Toros have been strong when leading in games. Hopefully they can put this one away, but we've seen last Friday, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, whenever that was, when North Iowa came to Minot, not a lot of quit in this team, unlike last year's North Iowa group. So should be a fun final 40 minutes. Join us after the break. We'll see how it plays out here on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I'm the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
I'm Jacko Hannison. You're watching Minotauros hockey on NAHLTV.com.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena. You know where it is. Toros getting ready to start period number 2, leading the North Iowa Bulls by a score of 2-1, despite getting outshot 13-8 in the first. As always, I'm Ken Oda. Evan Epstein is alongside, and now we have a delay for the clock. There we go. All right. I think Cody Campbell would have been just fine with a 26-second second period. But they've reset it to 20, and we are ready to go. Toros now working right to left on your computer, monitor, smart device, or however you are tuned in to the Minotauros network. That was tipped, so no icing. Adam Mahler back on it behind the Toro net, but it's jammed to the near side. Billy Batten keeps it moving. He finds Yohala. Yohala finds Ohannesson. Ohannesson into the zone. Ohannesson shot blocked. It comes right back to him. He shovels it in behind the net. Cash Crawford will gather there. Long pass ahead. Finds Manlove. He looks off far side. Miller lets it roll. Deemer plays it down the wall. They've got Aswari crashing into the slot, but couldn't get it to him. Puck caroms to the near side to be picked up by Billy Batten. And the Toros will go on the attack. Ohannesson back to Batten. Batten in tight. Save made. Rebound poked out alertly by Osgun to Miller.
Billy Batten just didn't have any room to elevate that puck right there. He got it and got the handle on it pretty much on the doorstep.
Far side, Weirin spins away from Ohannesson's pressure. Yohala's there as well. Chip to the near side. Mindorf couldn't touch that to anyone in a helpful manner. Aswari on the far side, lost it. Small let it go. He thought Mindorf was going to take it. Small got it back though. Gave to Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs gives to Spencer, who touches it deep for Gibbs. Gibbs, the defenseman working below the goal line, has it poked off his stick, and now Fuji Suzuki looks to get going the other way. Spencer pokes it away from him, and John Small will take over, circles back into the Toro zone, then hands off to Tui. Tui gains the line, throws one off the blocker of the goaltender. Spencer, follow-up try, gloved and held with a flyby screen coming from John Small.
It's a nice play there from Ian Spencer, just on the wall, turning and firing. Didn't look like he was in a position to take the shot, and sometimes that'll throw a goalie off. As he quickly got one on net, but Osgun saw it and kept it in the glove.
Small and Spence, since the addition of Mindorf, that line has been so dangerous, especially on the rush. Offensive zone draw coming. Chuck Owens to take it for the Toros, tries to push it forward. but he can't get through his counterpart in the dot. Shot blocked off. It hit Jockums. Jockums trying to work it to the front, but it's taken away.
We often think of front.
Bulls start up ice. This is Brady Dietz. Hubert Clark having trouble behind the Toro net. Malentino there. He's got the game's only penalty. They continue to scrum. Owens has Malentino pinned. Clark digging there as well. Malentino won it, but his pass intended for Osborne was off the mark. The Toros give it right back, though. Dumped in. Played to the corner by Swedes. Ty James immediately pressured by Malentino, but he's able to ring the puck to the near side. Kept at the point by Bard. His play down the wall, taken away by the Toros, and the pass intended for Noah Gibbs is off the mark. The Toros have iced the puck. Icing is brought to you by our friends at
Minot's Finest Collision Center, where we were very close to going there after the start of our trip from Mesa Arena. But luckily, we got past a little skid down the ice and safely made our way here to Mason City. As we take a look at a couple more social media check-ins, Betsy Patterson checking in from Sacramento, the Nelsons in from Minot. The Kirkbrides checking in from Grand Rapids, as is Jake Thompson.
Bulls control the draw in the Toro zone. It's back to the point in Johnson. Johnson's backhand try blocked off by traffic. It comes back to him. This time he'll just shovel it in behind the net pile there. Pyle moves it to the near side. Noah Gibbs jams this out to neutral. This one won't go far enough for icing. Jockums will apply pressure, forcing Johnson back, allowing the rest of the Toros to change. This is ahead. Higley touches into the Toro zone. Adam Mahler back on it. Mahler leaves it for Perreault. Perreault hands to Noah Gibbs. Gibbs for Mahler. Mahler's pass hits a skate. It was out of the zone, however, and that's an offside play. Fortunately for the Toros, because Higley was one-on-one with Swedes until the whistle went.
Yeah, about a foot between the blue line and the puck. Definitely an easy call for the officials, but the Toros nonetheless fortunate that that one got beyond the blue line, as Higley would have had one wide open on Svedin.
Puck controlled by Perreault. He's getting trouble from Eli Miller. Edwards upended. Crawford with a long shot. Shade to the corner by Swedes. Bulls go to work. This is Manlove turning on the near side. He leaves off. Now it's fired up top. The pass split the defenseman and functions as a clear for the Toros. Far side, Edwards should be the first to this. He is, but his pass to Newman was blocked and then dumped the other way. Paddled to the boards by Swedes. Puck moved to the near side. Ramirez plays the body. Perreault finds the puck. Perreault, far side, Mahler. Mahler, stop, go, move, gains the line. Shot blockered up and out of play by Osgun.
And a nice move there from Adam Mahler as he was entering the zone just to get a little bit of space to the right side. Had an angle to try and tuck it in to the near corner on Osgun.
Give you an idea of how one-sided this rivalry has been. The North Iowa Bulls all-time leading scorer against the Toros, Byron Hartley, hasn't played here for 2 seasons. He had 14 points. Their next best scorer is actually 7 players tied with 6 career points against the Toros. Flip that to the other side. Jack O'Hannison now has 18 career points against North Iowa, 9 goals, 9 assists. Nicholas Kettinen played 1 season, had 15 points. Trevor Stahowiak had 15 points. Joel Lettinen played 1 season, had 13. John Small had 13, and Colby Joseph had 12. So it's been pretty one-sided, especially the last couple years.
Yeah, no doubt. Hand pass called down on the ice as a drop's coming now in the neutral zone.
Yohala and Severson on the draw. Severson won it back. This is Azwawi. Azwawi dumps it in. Swedes out of his net. Swats it back to the near side. Severson sneaks behind the linesman to find it. His shot's blocked in front by Tui. Severson finds it, guides it back to the point. Azwawi's shot shoveled to the far wall by Swedes. Bank to the near side. Batten played the body, allowing Yohala to gather up. Yohala gains the line on the near wall, shovels it to the middle. Batten spins it for O'Hannison. It was off the mark. Yohala was there. Follow-up try on the backhand is gloved and held. No rebound given by Osgun. who's looked good despite allowing 2 goals. The first one was given to the franchise's all-time leading scorer when his defense failed him, and the second one was a 3rd rebound. Not a lot you could fault Osgun for.
Yeah, as we take a look at the replay here, Jesse Yahala just didn't have space to get that puck back to his forehands, and he's a little farther out than you want to be when you're shoveling one in on net. Not much difficulty there for Kyle Osgun.
John Small on the draw, but it's dug out first by the Bulls. Small fights, gets it back. Spencer's feed to the middle for Middendorf. Deflected up high in the air, and now it gets by Clark at the point. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Good job by the Toros to get back and break it up. Osborne couldn't even get something towards the net. Bard will now. That goes wide. Rebound to the far side. Taken away by Small. Feed to the middle. Now he goes up ice for Spencer. Spencer drops for Middendorf. Middendorf shot goes wide. Rebound to the far side. Small tips it to the corner. Now we'll hand off for Spencer. Spencer, nifty footwork, was able to kick to the stick, but it's taken back by the Bulls. And Bard spins one up ice for Malentino. That was off the mark, and it will go for a Minot's finest collision center icing. Shot 17-13 in favor of the Bulls, but the Toros lead 2-1 with 14:39 left to play in the period.
Well, on that shift, we saw Gavin Middendorf's blazing speed on both sides of the ice. First, it was getting back on defense to prevent the Bulls from having a 2-on-1, and then on the other side, he got down the ice so fast that he had a nice shot, or had the puck out in space. And Middendorf's speed is one of the reasons he's had so much success with the Toros.
Jockums with a shot off the draw. Follow-up try for Noah Gibbs. Doesn't go either. Long shot from the point. Double deflection. Lays on goal line. Tipped home by Jockums. Toros lead 3-1. Good, hard-working shift from this line. And Jockums able to find the loose change in behind the goaltender. Toros lead now doubled.
That puck was sitting on the goal line right behind Kyle Osgun, and his body took enough off of it just to have it sit down there. And he was reaching back with the stick to try and knock it away, but couldn't before Braden Jockums drove it in.
The shot came from the point initially. And just good awareness by Jockums. Far side, Bulls control. Toss across to the near side. Severson drops it back. Bulls Johnson turning along the far wall. Toros swarming. They take it away. This is O'Hannison. Mahler and Owens with the assists. Jordan Gibbs dumps that in. Near side, Suzuki touches for Severson. He'll look up ice. Carried ahead by Weirin. Left off near side, Severson. Taken away, Batten. Flips that ahead, bouncing puck. Crawford. What do we have? They went crashing into Swedes. That's what happened. The puck was all the way up ice, and Cole Weirin was laying inside the Toro net. Connor Toohey there with him. I'll be honest, I was following the puck up ice. Did either of you see how that happened?
I was not, as Kobe was helping me fix my Wi-Fi situation here. But what you did see there was the Toros were not upset that Cole Weirin crashed into Svedin, which makes you think it was probably an accident.
Cody Campbell's still on the floor behind the bench, not standing on the dasher, so it must not have been that bad. Crawford dumps this down into the Toro zone. Adam Mahler will retreat and retrieve. Perreault has trouble. Taken away. This is Batten speeding up ice. Long shot, gloved and held.
Well, this line in O'Hannison, Yahala, and Batten has continued to look more comfortable out there as the game has gone on. It was definitely a slow start for them as that Bulls first line was getting a lot of opportunities in the first period, but as we've transitioned to the second, they've done a good job of controlling the puck.
Edwards trying to win that draw forward and crash the net. It got deflected, however. And the Bulls were able to clear the zone. Toros dump it right back in. Nichols pressuring Crawford. Crawford turning, looking up ice. That was off the mark. Arm is up. This will go for a Minot's Finest Collision Center icing.
Well, Ken, you just mentioned the Toros trying to win the drop forward. They've done that a handful of times tonight. You wonder if that's something that Cody Campbell has seen from the footage. Hey, maybe you win it forward depending on if the Bulls lay back off the draw. You get an easy shot from close range on Osgun, because that has been a very clear part of the game plan going into this game.
Cody Campbell has roughly 15 face-off plays drawn up for this group. Sometimes he calls them from the bench. Sometimes players call them on the ice. So this is behind the net. Far side, Bulls control 2-on-1 if they hurry. Perreault's the lone man back, pass across off the mark, and now Nichols goes sliding into the net. He had been sliding, trying to break up the pass. And he went all the way into the post, which leads to a whistle. Defensive zone draw to be treated like an icing. Toros won't be allowed to change.
Even so, though, that diving play by Nichols still cut off most of the passing lane to Hodis. There was definitely a little bit of space out in front of Dennis Hodis, but as you see a diving Davin Nichols right here, what a play just to get back on defense and cut off one side of the ice.
Draw will be to the left of Swedes, picked up and flicked down the ice. Can Nichols save icing? He does, just by forcing McIntosh to play that puck. Taken away. This is Edwards shoveling it to the middle. Nichols couldn't gather. McIntosh was on his hip. Valentino starts up ice. Turning. Pinned to the wall by Perreault. Newman delivers a hit. The Bulls still control. Left the near side. Up the wall. Ty James couldn't find it. Nichols hits Osborne. Puck to the far side. Toros pinned in their zone. Long shot, save made by Swedes. Perreault hacks at it, but the Bulls find it again. Down low, good stick by Ty James, breaks that up. Edwards leaning on Osborne behind the Toro net. Scrum continues, Ty James is there. Delayed call coming, it'll be on Ty James, and on the touch the whistle goes. So the Toros will go to the Papa John's PK for the first time this evening, and they'll do so without Ty James.
Toros on the penalty kill this season, 89.19%, fourth in the North American Hockey League. And you take a look at the numbers for the North Iowa Bulls on the power play, 16.31%. Pretty middle of the pack there, as that ranks 21st in the league.
Draw will be to the right of Swedes. Played back to the point in Crawford. One thing to keep an eye on is Spence pressured the point, and now Small pressuring Suzuki, forcing him back. The Bulls have allowed 7 shorthanded goals against. That puts them ranked 27th in the 35-team North American Hockey League. So there's certainly offense to be had when down a man, and here's John Small with possession. He's got Spencer with him. Small delays, gives to Spence. Return feed for Small, cut off by Suzuki. Clever idea, but Suzuki with a quick stick denied. They ring to the far side, Tui. He's got Small and Spence if he fires it quickly. Unfortunately for the Toros, that pass was head high. And what do we got? What's the reason? Was it clipped off by a high stick? Which will put the draw in the offensive zone for the Toros, I think.
That's where action is heading. Kevin Perreault definitely had his stick up in the air as well.
Either way, smart play by Osgun, the goaltender, to touch it, because yes, you take a defensive zone draw, but the other thing to do is to just stand there and wait for the Toros to touch it, which they're not going to do while they're down a man. They're content to let the power play clock run, so good play to touch it. Owens maybe gets away with one there on Johnson. Johnson now behind the Bulls net. Starts the breakout straight up the middle of the ice. Veers slightly to the right. Gains the line. The defenseman trying to go coast to coast. Forced behind the net. He's done a full lap around the Toro zone now as well. Up top, Klaschauer turning on the near side. Guides it down to the goal line. Back up top for Johnson. Johnson looks back far side. Back across to the near side. Drop to the goal line. Mishandled by Osborne, and it ends up in behind the net. Osborne finds it. Near side, half wall, looks up top for Johnson. Johnson hands off far side across Klaschauer. Walks in. Shot save made. Rebound is loose in front. Good job by Perreault to just bury a man. Meanwhile, it's up top for Johnson. Johnson leaves off far side. Toro still on the kill for 13 seconds as a shot's fought off by Swedes. Good looking power play here once they've gained the zone for the Bulls. It's up top. Left for Johnson. Pressure by Batten. Johnson carries in. Backhand feeding across. And Swedes gets over the top just as they come full strength. I think Perreault almost deflected that into the Toros' goal.
Yeah, Perreault was trying to sweep it out to the boards, but what he didn't realize is Eli Miller was getting involved down with the Toros after the play. What Perreault didn't realize was that he swept it in right on Svedin. It looked like a shot from Perreault on net, but luckily enough, Svedin was as good as he always is. Here's the shot from Kalsher through two defenders. Svedin ended up on his backside on that one, but the Bulls weren't able to get a shot before he got back on his feet.
Swedes unhappy with something about his net, getting the referee to look at it.
Well, as the net is undone, let's take a look at some more check-ins. Thompson's checking in from Florida. Neubauer's checking in. Paul and Susan listening in from Deming, New Mexico.
Draw to the right of Swedes.
Ohanneson's mom watching from Michigan as she got to see her son set the record for all-time points as a Toro.
I imagine she'll get to see him in a couple of weeks as well when he's in Michigan for top prospects, along with a few other Toros. Toros controlling their own zone. This is Mindorf. Mindorf speeds ahead, gets chopped down, and on the touch, the whistle goes. They're going to take Avon Pyle, the former Minnesota Mallard.
Just the second power play opportunity of the night for the Toros, but they converted on the first, as that was one of our Forebears Casino over-unders. The line was set at 3.5. Here's power play number 2.
Draw will be to the right of Osgun. Ohanneson touches back to Mahler, across for Ian Spencer, and the Toros will go to work. Spence walks in, drops it to Batten. Batten walks in, jam play doesn't go. The rebound hacked to the near wall. Miller finds it and clears it all the way down.
Nonetheless, though, that was a great hesitation from Spencer to open up some of the ice, then gets it down to the goal line for Batten as Svedin evades a defender there.
Shows off his stick handling. Meanwhile, quick in by Ohanneson, hits a leg and carries back to the Toro blue line. This is Mahler ahead for Ohanneson. Ohanneson jitterbugs into the zone, gets bumped off, can't fight through. Batten there in support. Puck lays free, Toros find it. It's a cross for Ohanneson. Ohanneson up top for Mahler. Mahler, shot blocked and carries to the near side. And Miller able to take it away. Toros control, however. 62 ticks left to talk on the First Western Bank and Trust power play as Juhala speeds up ice. Juhala into the zone. Tried to feed it to the middle. It's blocked off. Hammered around to the far side. Mahler's pass deflects up and out of play and hits an empty seat. Not exactly a hard target to find in this building tonight.
Unit number 2 now coming on for the Toros power play. John Small, Noah Gibbs, Gavin Middendorf, Jordan Gibbs, and Braden Jockums out there. Jockums already 2 goals on the night. One shy of a Hattie.
He'll be taking the draw against Weirin. But Valentino steps in, punches it to the wall, kept by Jordan Gibbs. Throws it down low, it'll roll in behind the net. Crawford's there first, he fans on the clear. That allows Jockums to take over, he plays back to the point in Mindorf. Mindorf walks to the middle, then gives to Jordan Gibbs. Down to the hash marks and Noah Gibbs on the far side. Up top, Jordan Gibbs comes near side, Mindorf. Mindorf didn't catch it cleanly, but does keep possession. Toros working around the umbrella. Now Jordan Gibbs with his shot tip out front by Jockums doesn't go. Mindorf finds it. Mindorf gives to Jordan Gibbs on the scissor play. Shot goes up and over the net. Noah Gibbs finds the rebound. He's given space at the hash marks. He'll walk in. He had Small crashing backside, but the pass was tipped. Small turning. He gets held up by Crawford, and the puck thrown down the ice just as the Bulls come full strength.
Kyle Oscom was getting frustrated with Braden Jockums on that power play as Jockums was screening up in front of the net. A couple of shoves into the back of Jockums as he was clearly getting into the vision or into the path of Oscom.
Mahler takes the clear attempt away in neutral, feeds it ahead for Ohannesson. Ohannesson tried to give it to Yohala, popped up high in the air. Valentino finds it on the far side, shovels to the near and Weirin. Weirin gains the line, but his mates are changing. He finds a man coming on the change at Suzuki. Suzuki drops it back, long shot from Severson. That finds glass, and the rebound carries all the way down the ice. Crawford back in his own zone, throws up the wall. Weirin ahead for Bard. Bard hands to Suzuki. Suzuki to the near side half, plays it back in the middle. Weirin touches it to the point. There's no one there. Toros have a 2-on-1, battens the trigger man. Yohala joins the rush, fed for Yohala, shot it wide. Rebound to the far side. Mahler throws it in front. Mindorf, can he get around the post? He puts it out front for Batten. It doesn't go. Touch back to Perot.
Post's come undone.
The net is well off the goal line. We play on. Severson looks across. Meanwhile, Osgun putting his own net back on so that play can stay in motion. Perot hands to Yohala on the near side. Yohala gains the line, and now he'll ring it. Osgun stops for Crawford. Chop to the near side. Can Clark get there in time? He does. His shot's blocked. It comes to the near wall. Clark picks it back up. Clark carries around behind the net. Finds a man coming on. Shot off the mask by Mindorf, and his follow-up try rolls on net for a cover with the glove by Osgun. 5:49 to play here in period number 2. Toros lead 3-1. Shot total is almost back to even.
And Gavin Middendorf, that shot had a lot of speed behind it there. As you said, there was nothing Osgun could do. It went off his mask as he was unable to really pick it up, but luckily for him, Middendorf couldn't get much on the second try as Osgun continues to look at that far post with the officials.
Don't worry, the Zebras are on it now. So, I think the net has been replaced. Now we'll have a shuffle. Small on the draw. Spence able to dig it out. Ian Spencer to the corner. Spencer looks up top for Clark. Clark with a good keep. Looks across. Ty James tried to quickly put it into the middle. It's blocked off, and the Bulls go the other way. That's an offside play, and the whistle goes. Offside. It's brought to you by our friends at Affinity First Federal Credit Union.
It's gonna be down tomorrow.
1 for 2 on the pop quizzes tonight. Draw in front of the North Iowa bench, Small and Hodis. This one dumped in. Swedes finds it. Rings it around to the near side. It gets through to Spencer. Spencer carries ahead, looks across, finds Mindorf into the... That apparently was offside.
Offsides. Brought to you by Affinity First Federal Credit Union.
The draw will be right below our broadcast perch. Nope, they'll move it over to the bench side. Small. Osgun guides it to the near side. Taken away by Small. Small rings that around the glass. It'll check up behind the net. McIntosh moves it to the far side. Hoisted down into the Toro zone. Delayed offside, so the Bulls have to peel back. Quickly up for Spencer. Spencer looking to attack. Plays it into the middle for Mindorf. Mindorf carries to the near side, has it poked free. Malatino looking to challenge Jordan Gibbs. Hands off for Osborne instead. A shot that was blocked and sailed wide. Behind the net, Malantino goes to work. Hands off Hodis. Shot from a tough angle goes up and out of play for a whistle. Draw will be to the left of Swedes with 4:35 left to go here in period number 2. Draw shoveled off the glass by Chuck Owens and then thrown ahead. Look out. Whoa.
We got a little more elevation here in Mason City than we do back home, or that one might have been coming for us.
I was worried about the grandma with her grandkids. She was not watching the play at all, sitting on the front row, and almost took that puck. But fortunately, they found a safe landing space to her left. Draw back in the Toro zone once again. Owens on it against Clasher. And they will toss Clasher from the draw. Malantino will step in eventually. Bulls win the draw. Crawford pinching down the wall. Pushed off by Mahler. Taken away, Noah Gibbs feeds Chuck Owens. Owens tries to bank it off the glass past Malantino. It doesn't work, but he's able to find the loose puck in neutral and punch it into the zone. It's right onto the tape of a Bull, however. Turning on the far side, spun to the near end. Crawford keeps it moving. Owens couldn't keep it. High stick against Kalsher from Chuck Owens is going to go uncalled, and now the Toros look to turn 3-on-2 if they hurry. Owens is the trigger man. And a very late hit at Owens after the offside whistle that I think was also off the mark.
Yeah, and we saw one just a couple minutes ago with Gavin Middendorf that didn't look like it was offsides, and right there, I mean, there was nothing. Well,
here's another look.
Kobe Brault, best in the business, giving us that replay.
So
I didn't see anything there.
Draw in front of the Toro bench. Edwards will take it against Deemer. Deemer gets tossed, so Miller will step in. I will say that second one was closer than the first one. This is Bard as the Bulls control off the draw, drops it back. Quickly ahead, it's off the mark. And Ramirez can't chop that out of midair. Bard has it. Again, looks up ice. This time it's Newman who breaks it up. Finally, third try finds Eli Miller. He's able to roll it deep into the corner. Ty James pins him against the glass. Edwards steps into a man. Clark lurking on the outside of the scrum. He takes it away. Hubert Clark turns it over on the near side. Deemers. And now Bard able to hold the line. Shot blocked by traffic. Clark finds it first. Glass and out, but it's Ramirez unable to catch the bouncing puck. He eventually does, and now they're going to go back and forth. Bard and Ramirez. I thought we were going to see gloves fly there for a moment. Meanwhile, carried ahead by Manlove. He'll leave off far side, carried into the zone by Dietz. Dietz hits the brakes and shovels it around to the near side. It'll ride the kick plate. Near wall, scrum there, Ramirez. Far side, long shot from the point, soaked up, not soaked up. Swedes dropped that. The whistle went anyway, and now we have more pushing and shoving, some frustration coming from the Bulls. A draw to the right of Swedes. Yohala on the draw. And then they'll toss another guy from the faceoff. Draw to the far side, poked ahead by O'Hannison. He can't get free. This is Aswawi. Hit on the near side, dumped in. Picked up by Jordan Gibbs. He hits the brakes, turns back, gives to Tui behind the Toro net. Tui met by a pair of Bulls, but he made the pass to Jordan Gibbs. Yohala carries out. Yohala into the zone. He's stood up by McIntosh. Batten with a big hit. Separates the man from the puck, frees it up. Then Batten finds it. Batten working around the offensive zone, looks up top for Tui. Tui thought about it, then pulls it down. Now a shot through traffic in and out of the glove, but the Toros didn't have anyone in the slot to take advantage. Hoisted all the way down in the Toros zone. They'll wave off icing, so Tui has to play. Tui will hold behind his net. Final 103 seconds as it's taken away. 2-on-1. Tui's the lone man back. They look across. Save made by Swedes. Nothing on that shot for Higley. Billy Batten's going to get called for dumping Pyle. Batten had his stick chopped out of his hand, so he just shoved Pyle down. After Pyle moved the puck, I'm not sure that warranted a penalty, but it will lead to one. Toros to the Papa John's PK with 1:26 left in period number 2. Toros PK 1-for-1 this evening. Draw to the left of Swedes. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call. This is Johnson off the draw, leaves off near side. Kalsher walks in, shot, pinballs off a body and in. And suddenly, it's back to a one-goal game. Take another look. Not much Swedes could do as that shot was headed wide and just hit a body. Took a hard right turn. Another bad drop, so we'll try again. Small and Severson. Severson wins it back. Crawford finds it, carries into the zone, hits the brakes. Crawford dumps it cross corner. Ahead for Spence. He couldn't quite settle it down. It was out of his reach. Crawford does. Back to Crawford in his own zone on the near side. He's pressured by Small and Spencer. Far side. Severson chips it out to neutral. Toros take over. Final minute of play brought to you by our friends at Northern Plains Equipment as this was dumped down into the Toros zone. Jordan Gibbs after it. This is Ty James. Dumps it into the offensive zone. Toros are after it, but the Bulls get there first. Bard spins it to the far side and Rearin hands it off. It's up ice for Severson. Severson into the zone, delays, shot blocked. Suzuki on the rebound in the corner. Plays up top, Weirin, shot. Save made by Swedes. Rebound lays free, picked up by Small. 16 seconds left. Toros start up ice. Small hands to Mindorf. Mindorf into the zone, delays. And then he's forced out to neutral. That should do it for the period. As Ty James gives to Spence with 3 seconds left. And the horn will sound to end it. 40 minutes in the books. Toros lead 3-2. Are getting outshot 25-21. But 2 goals from Braden Jockums give the Toros the lead. We will have Jockums on the bench with Evan Epstein in just a moment. Toros seemed to have this game in control, but a bizarre penalty call followed by an even more bizarre goal scored against leads to this being a 1-goal game heading into the third, but we will send you down to ice level and Evan Epstein with.
Jockums, Braden, you've got 2 goals in 2 periods. How have you been able to make such a big impact in this game?
Well, I mean, it's not just me, it's my line mates and the D pairs that whenever we're out there, they help set me up. I'm sitting at the net front, they're getting it to me, and I'm just getting lucky with a couple lucky bounces and getting it on net.
Braden, Bulls responded with a late goal in the second period. Overall, what did you see from that period?
I thought we were good. We responded good. We had a slow start in the first, but we've been picking it up, and we had a little bit of a rough patch in the last about 5 minutes, so we'll go and regroup in the dressing room and get back at it for the third.
What do you think you need to do differently from that last 5 minutes going into the third period?
Yeah, they're a really good transition team, and we're giving them a lot of chances from turnovers in the neutral zone and at the blue line, so just cleaning up that, either getting it deep or managing the puck a little bit better, and that'll help us a lot.
All right, thanks, Braden.
That was Evan Epstein with Braden Jockums. We will send you out to commercial break when we come back. The Forebears Casino Lodge Intermission Report after these messages on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue, carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I am the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
We had a member that came into the credit union who doesn't historically come in. She went up to the teller line and said she wanted $25,000 in cash. The teller kind of questioned her about it, and she said, "I'm buying a car," but she was kind of fidgety. And is that when she went to you first?
She had to make a phone call to see who it was payable to, and that was
which is
red
way
flag.
weird. I mean, that's a huge red flag. And that's kind of when I came up there and I just said, "Are you comfortable coming to my office if we just sit down and talk about this?"
And that's where you took the phone and talked to the person on the other line, right?
Then to hit the button on the phone and disconnect them, for her to say, "Thank you."
I'd rather ask the uncomfortable questions than hear that I just assisted someone losing $25,000.
Perfect. That's when you know you did a good job that day.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Keeps you rolling down the road.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena for the Four Bears Casino and Lodge intermission report. Toros lead 3-2 after 40 minutes. This game a little bit tighter than maybe we would have thought coming in, but let's look at the scoring. It was North Iowa who opened the scoring back in period number 1.
Yeah, Jack Severson ended up finishing it off, but it was Cole Weirin who made this play as Weirin's going to come out on the break. Weirin pressured by John Small. Wisely drops it back, no in front of Severson, who hammered it home. And this was the record breaker for the Toros, Jack O'Hannison on the power play.
A slow developing play, but yeah, eventually O'Hannison there is surrounded by all 4 penalty killers, but no one attacked him. And with that kind of time, he was able to slide it past the goaltender. Then Jockums, this is the goal you missed while you were headed down to the bench to interview O'Hannison. Was able to tuck home a rebound. It took 3 tries, but eventually the Toros took the 2-1 lead. Then in the second period, Jockums again, his third as a Toro from Mahler and Owens. Took the initial shot, and then in the chaos that ensued, just went to the net front. Long shot, save was made, but it trickled through the goaltender, and then Jockums was able to tap it home. But with less than 2 minutes to play in the period, the Toros took a penalty, and then it was just a long shot from distance that was headed well wide, but it hit Vince Klauscher in the knee and caromed past Lucas Sweden. So the Toros just a 1-goal lead and are actually getting outshot in this one, 25-21. Toros did outshoot the Bulls 13-12 in the second period. As we look at our updated Shields scoreboard, so the Toros with a 3-2 lead. Both teams 1 for 2 on the power play due to that last power play goal. So a pretty even game. The difference right now, the 2 for Jockums.
Yeah, it's been back and forth, and you mentioned it all night long, is that the Bulls do not have any quit in them. This is a team that we saw score 2 goals against the Toros over the final 2 minutes to take a game in early January, and you see that fight at the end of the second period there. Pretty even shots on goal, right? Bulls lead that tally 25-21, but in terms of the opportunities that both sides are generating, I'd say both sides are getting pretty similar looks.
Yeah, pretty similar looks going either direction. Toros really have struggled in neutral ice, which is not like them, and I think that's something Braden Jockums spoke about with you down on the bench. The neutral zone turnovers leading to chances the other way. I'd like to see the Toros clean that up for the third period and certainly for tomorrow night. But we will send you out for another commercial break. We'll come back in 90 seconds with the out-of-town scoreboard as well as an update on the Four Bears over-unders and the McDonald's Toros trivia here on the Minotauros Network.
Hi, I'd like to add my new motorcycle to my insurance policy, please.
Greetings. Is it a moped or unicycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Unicycling enhances core body strength.
No, it's a motorcycle. It has 2 wheels, a seat, handlebars.
Does it have rocket boosters?
Can I speak to a live agent?
Impossible. All agents have been neutralized.
At Farmers Union Insurance, technology is important, and so is finding the best options for our clients, person to person. Farmers Union Insurance. Local agents, more options, great rates.
As long as you have the back of someone in the midst of an overdose, North Dakota's Good Samaritan law has yours. Learn how to save a life at behavioralhealth.nd.gov.
Opioids. Fill with care.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena. Toros lead the North Iowa Bulls by a score of 3-2 here during the second break. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scores. Wisconsin up 4-1 on Janesville. Actually, that's a final. Also final, Elmira 4-3 over Danbury. Middle third, Maine 3-1 over Northeast. Johnstown late in the third up 4-2 over Maryland. They just got that fourth goal moments ago. It was 3-2 when I was starting to scroll down. 6-2 late in the third, New Hampshire over New Jersey. Philadelphia 2-1 lead over Rochester. That one's middle third. Early third, Springfield a 2-0 lead on Chippewa as we get to Central Division action here. Austin up 6-2 on St. Cloud. That's at the second break. Watertown has stormed back. They had a 4-2 lead, but now the Mallards scored early in the third. That's now a 4-3 game in Forest Lake. Lone Star up 3-2 on Shreveport. Oklahoma trails Amarillo 4-3. They're at the second break. Second break in Aberdeen. The Wings a 2-1 lead on Bismarck. New Mexico leads Odessa 1-0. Colorado and El Paso, their aces after one. And later tonight, Kenai visits Fairbanks. But going back to those central scores, St. Cloud has been hot. They've been storming back in the playoff picture. They're getting absolutely pumped by Austin tonight. And then you look down in Aberdeen, the Wings, who had been struggling a bit, they're up on the first place Bobcats as they try to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, and those are the two series that Toros fans need to keep an eye on. And I think the Wings and the Bobcats, it's interesting because now the Wings have urgency because the Norsemen are clawing away at that fourth spot as they're fighting for the playoff spot. Whereas Bismarck has been falling back as of late. They dropped a game last weekend. They trail by one at the second intermission right now. And if Bismarck... if everything stands, the Toros would be just 3 points back of first place after tonight's slate of games.
Yeah, you talk about that urgency for the Aberdeen Wings. They had a cushion over St. Cloud for a little bit, and they're still, we're at 59 points. Austin's at 58 in second and third. Aberdeen 15 points back of Austin, so when they were really not within catching distance of the Bruins, and they had been so far ahead of St. Cloud, I think at one point it was a 10-point cushion, so they were kind of in that no man's land, not a lot of pressure either way, no urgency to try and catch up, and they thought they had that cushion, but now St. Cloud comes storming back and turns the playoff picture back into a 5-team race. This North Iowa Bulls team is 10 points back of Aberdeen. That puts them 25 points back of Austin, 26 back of the Toros. So, first, second, third place probably out of the realm of possibility for North Iowa, but they were buyers at the deadline, so I think they're trying to fight their way back into that fourth position too.
Yeah, it's interesting, and you also look at those top four teams / top five. That's why it's so important to be the number one seed going into the playoffs, is because Bismarck, the Toros, and the Bruins are really a lot of people see them as the heavy hitters of the league. Whoever's top of the division is going to end up playing Aberdeen or St. Cloud, which is a more favorable matchup than either Austin or Bismarck.
Certainly, and you definitely don't want to fall into the third place spot in this group, because then you're playing the stronger of the first round opponents, and you're doing it without home ice advantage. Let's take a look at the forebears over unders. First one was total Toros power play opportunities. The number was set at 3.5. 69.4% of you took the over. Right now we're sitting on the under. Toros have had just 2 power plays through tonight's game so far. Second one was Toros goals allowed, 2.5. 73.5% of you took the under, which is where we stand now, but no breathing room for you there if you took the under. And the final one, total Toros shot differential, 77.1% of you agreed with Lauren, Evan, and I that this would go over, and right now you need a big third period from the Toros, who are being outshot by 4. The good news, the Toros have been very good at putting teams away. When leading going into the third period, the Toros are 22-1-0. So that's the situation the Toros find themselves in. See if they're able to do that again. And of course, we also have our McDonald's Toros trivia question. The question is, what is the Toros record for shots on goal in a game? That's certainly not in danger tonight. That was set in a game against North Iowa. Your options 70, 66, 62, or 58. 54.5% of you have the correct answer. Not going to say what that is until the Farmers Union postgame show, so make sure you stay tuned in. After the game ends, we'll get our winners for the over-unders and McDonald's Toros trivia. You still have all third period to get your guesses in for McDonald's as well. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll drop the puck. Period number 3. Toros lead the North Iowa Bulls by a score of 3-2.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
I'm Lucas Sudin, and you're watching Minotauros hockey at NAHLTV.com.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena, which is appropriately located in Mason City, Iowa. I don't think you need to be a geography major to figure that one out. But Toros lead the North Iowa Bulls by a score of 3-2. Goals from Jack O'Hannison and 2 from Braden Jockums. The difference so far, of course, the one for O'Hannison set the record for most points all time by a Toro. Toros hoping to be able to celebrate after this one. Just need to protect the 1-goal lead to do so. Toros back to working left to right on your computer screen or smart device, however you are tuned into the Minotauros network. Evan, you had a thought. I rudely cut you off.
Well, I'd say it's the other way around. I think I rudely cut you off there. But the Toros have done a very good job on this winning streak of closing out games. You look at last Saturday against Watertown, they had a 2-goal lead going into the third period, and they held the Shamrocks to just one shot on goal that period. Now, the Shamrocks did shoot themselves in the foot that period with a couple of penalties, but nonetheless, the Toros have done a very good job of shutting the door.
This is carried ahead by Yohala. He had it taken away, and Batten trying to free it up in the offensive zone. It bounces free to Manlove. And you mentioned the Toros playing the Shamrocks. They played them 2 weekends in a row. And sometimes you worry when you play teams that have struggled to that extent. You know, similar to playing North Iowa last year, when you play them 4 in a row, you can develop some bad habits because you can get away with some things and that maybe you don't get away against better opponents. And I think that's what we've seen in the neutral zone for the Toros this evening. Some soft chip passes, some hope plays that they worked the last 2 weekends against Watertown, but this North Iowa team, yeah, they're outside looking in on the playoff picture, but they're certainly better than they were last year. This is Jordan Gibbs flipping it into the offensive zone. Toros touch up and pursue. Thrown up the far side, touched at the red line, so no icing. Swedin out of his net, stops it, no one comes to help, so now he goes back and throws to the near side. Suzuki's there. Stepping in, Gibbs flicks that out to neutral. It gets through at the point. Dietz had to retreat and retrieve. He starts the Bulls back up. Hodis, his dump in didn't work, and it's out to neutral for Jockums. Jockums trying to fight through. Rings it deep into the offensive zone. Chuck Owens takes over. He's quietly had 2 assists and just got boarded there without a call. Puck picked up instead by Dietz. Dietz pursued by Owens. Long pass ahead, missed everyone. It carries to the Toro blue line. Ty James, the Iowan, carries into the zone. Lost it in the referee's skates. Support from Jockums. He throws it deep. Make that Owens who threw it deep. Jockums pursues behind the net. It's left again for Dietz. Dietz up the near side for Osborne. Osborne gives to Malentino, who rolls it deep into the Toro zone. Still looking for our first shot on goal either way this period, as it's ahead for Jockums on the near side. He sees his mates are changing, so he'll carry to the red and chip it deep. Looks to pursue. Crawford on it first. Edwards and Ramirez trying to take it away. They're working down a man as Jockums broke for the bench. Newman over the wall. He rejoins the play. Can he take that puck away? He cannot. And instead, it's rolled to the Toro blue line. Edwards flicks it ahead. Johnson turning on the near side. Looks up ice. Johnson throws to the far side. It's into the zone. Klauscher looking backside for Osborne. The pass was broken up. Speaking of hope plays, this is Perreault chipping it deep into the zone. Perreault, a big flying elbow to the head of a Toro along the end wall. Who is it? I believe it's Ramirez. It is. Meanwhile, Johnson up ice. Johnson, backhand flip, save made. Rebound poked at by the Bulls as they went by the net, but Swedes kept it out. Now they've got Newman on the near side. Newman gains the line. His puck is poked away from him, but Yohala's there in support. Yohala taken into the wall. Back to the point and Tui. Tui looking for a lane. It's blocked. Karams to the far corner. Swept to the near side. McIntosh keeps it moving. Toros take it away. Yohala looking for space. Looks across. O'Hannison shot. That goes wide. Rebound takes an awkward Karam off a stanchion. Toro's able to find it first. Yohala looking across. He had Jordan Gibbs pinching down, but a good read. Broke that puck up. Toros break it up in neutral. Quickly ahead. That will go for an icing. Icing's brought to you by our friends at
Minot's Finest Collision Center, as neither side has really controlled the puck. You saw just on the other possession, the Bulls had a very nice entry, which led to a chance for Malatino to slap one by Svedim, almost similar to the goal last Saturday that Parker Newman had against the Shamrocks.
Drawn to the left of Swedin. Few stray check-ins that I believe we missed. The Longs are in Colorado, and Aaron Bliven tuned in from back in the Magic City. Hopefully we'll see Aaron at Friday's game against Bismarck. I don't think he'll need his box anymore. They've done some work over in that section. Should have a much better view from the accessible seats in front of the Bud Bar. Play restarts. The Bulls control the draw and dump it into the Toro zone. It was Eli Miller tipping it in to negate the icing. Swedes leaves for Tui. Up ice for Yohala. Banked in. Batten separated from the puck with a shoulder by Azwawi. Manlove tips that into the zone, and Clark is back on it. Clark looking up the middle, comes to the near side. Mindorf. Toss across for Spencer. Into the zone, tries to drive wide, throws it in front. He wanted a tip from Mindorf, didn't get it. Spence at the side of the net is left alone, but he couldn't get it on net or to the front. Good defense from North Iowa. This is Manlove turning it over to Mindorf, who chops it across. Mindorf gets run by Miller after the puck is gone. Meanwhile, Small tips it into the zone. Toros take it back. Nifty passing play. In front, Clark couldn't gather it in from Small after the Toros worked so hard to get that puck in tight. This is Spence feeding across. Mindorf tees one up. It sails wide. Ty James to the rebound on the far side. Punches it down into the corner for Small, but it was bouncing and it got away from him. Dietz leaves it back for Bard. Spence up on the pressure. Bard looking to keep it away from him. Comes across to Dietz. Dietz has some space. He'll take advantage and then fires it into the shins of Mindorf as the play was offside. 13:50 left to go in a quick-moving third period. Just one shot on goal. It belongs to North Iowa.
Offsides brought to you by Affinity First Federal Credit Union. As we take another look at the play here.
This is that scoring chance in tight.
And just down in front of the goal, Toros couldn't get the right side of the stick on it. I think that was Ian Spencer that was turned around, or Hubert Clark, thank you, Kobe, that wasn't facing the goal and then just couldn't get a shot off.
Good keep by Mahler, tried to feed it to Jochim's bouncing puck. Noah Gibbs shot it wide. He has been snake bit since he put on the cream and Cardinal. He's getting assists, but can't get it to go. This is Hodis turning now in the Toro zone. Hodis rings it deep. I think it was you, Evan, who pointed it out on the pregame show. 6 shots on goal last game, but here's Hodis. Roofing one up and out of play. They'll say it went off Swedes, so the draw will stay in the offensive zone.
Well, Dennis Hodis from short range there saw a puck floating to him and just decided to let it fly. Perhaps not the wisest course of action from so close, as he couldn't even get it on target.
He had time and space. I agree. Maybe that's one that you take a half a beat and try and beat Swedes clean with a wrister instead of overpowering him. But Toros thankfully made the decision he did. They win the offensive zone draw, though, to the Bulls. Crawford dumps it in behind the net. This is Klauscher's shot blocked. It lays free. Klauscher gets it to the slot. Good shot attempt, fought off by Swedin. Noah Gibbs dumps it into the near side corner. Johnson's on it first despite pressure from Chuck Owens. He turns it over to Nichols, who swats it in behind the cage. Crawford on it there. Nifty stop move, then plays to the near side. Pass up for Osborne. He touches it ahead, and it's quickly thrown into the Toro bench for a whistle. Not sure how much time is left. No manual or no analog scoreboard, just the digital video board. So when they go to these sponsor items, we don't really know how much time is remaining.
Officials are having a discussion down on the ice. Not sure what it's about. Drop should be coming into neutral ice, which is where everyone is lining up. No word on the confusion there, but it looks like we'll play on.
That would get really confusing if they chose not to. This is Edwards on the far side. Poked along, Jordan Gibbs. Slid into the zone by Edwards. It ended up on net. That should be a shot on goal. Toros not credited with one. This is Gustafsson carrying ahead. Offside at the line. Nope, they play on. Toros are definitely not thrilled with the linesman on that side of the ice. Meanwhile, this is Nichols. Nichols has Ramirez with him. Fans on the dump in, and that also looked like an offside play to me. And we've gone from being maybe a little too zealous with the calls at the blue line to perhaps a bit too laissez-faire. This one dumped in. It'll ring to the near side. Ty James on it. He hands to Yohala. Yohala forced to turn by pressure from Eli Miller. Gives back to Ty James. James will start the Toros up ice. Touched into the zone by Nichols. He'll peel off. Toros will complete the change. Get the Yohala line out in full. But Manlove trying to catch the Toros in that change. Walks in, wires one wide. It was partially blocked. Good stick from Hubert Clark. Far side. Mahler rings it to the near. O'Hannison and Dietz come together. O'Hannison ends up with the puck. Plays off far side. Batten breaks wide into the zone, then leaves for O'Hannison. Walks in, wire save made. Yohala into the net. Toros lead 4-2. Make that 120 points for O'Hannison as he gets the assist when Yohala buries the rebound.
And how many times do you see a shot from O'Hannison and Yohala picking up the rebounds? In the month of January and now a couple more games, I've seen that at least 3 times where it's the shot from O'Hannison from the left wing, a rebound comes out to the right side, and Jesse Yohala is there and ready to clean up the loose change.
Far side, Bulls look to break up ice. Weirin turns it over to Mahler. That's a big goal as well for insurance purposes. This turned over to Suzuki. Suzuki in, shot save made, rebound swatted to the corner alertly by Perreault. Mahler then throws one high in the air. Bouncing puck lands in neutral. Kept onside by Batten for O'Hannison. Shot blocker save. Rebound comes to the side of the net. And Yohala will just take it out to neutral. When's the last time you've seen Jack O'Hannison left that alone 3 times in one game either? Mindorf breaks up that pass, but it caroms right to the tape of Johnson. Spencer will pressure him. He chops that on midair. Small takes it away. Given to Mindorf. Mindorf shot. That goes wide. Rebound to the far side. Tui looks across for Mindorf. Catches the carom off the wall. Touches back for Spencer. Spence save made. Spence almost tackled. He still got to the rebound as he slipped out of the headlock and swatted it towards the cage, but Osgun able to answer. Jordan Gibbs taking off that puck, but support comes from Tui. He'll give to Mindorf. Mindorf, cross-ice pass blocked by Osborne. Carom's back into his zone where McIntosh eludes Ian Spencer. McIntosh hands to Osborne. Osborne shot stick save. Rebound up into the protective netting behind the goal. Toros lead 4-2 as we get another look at the last goal.
And as you said, Ken, O'Hannison, so much space in front of the net. It's a tough puck for Osgun to try and control as he couldn't get his glove over to it. And it comes right to Jesse Yohala. Well, and ever since then, the Toros have got a lot more pressure on Osgun.
It's a good shot selection there, too, from O'Hannison. He fired it low, knowing he had mates crashing the net on the rush. If you shoot it low, it's harder for the goaltender, right? You put it high. If it doesn't go in, it's probably getting gloved and held onto, or the blocker gets it and it goes up and out of play. Shooting it into the leg pad creates that rebound for Yohala. Meanwhile, Toros trying to get out of their zone. Hodis couldn't glove down to the stick. It's hacked ahead. Noah Gibbs leaves for Jockums. Jockums carries down low, tries to hand to Noah Gibbs. Back to Jockums behind the net. They work a 2-man game, slid in front. No one there for the Toros. Now Hodis looks to go the other way. Noah Gibbs hunts him down. It's chopped deep into the Toro zone. Clark and a Bull after it. Still haven't seen a jersey number as Clark has provided in a total eclipse in that corner. Meanwhile, to the near side, and Dietz, who mishandles it, and now races on. Jockums after it, but it's spun ahead to the near side. Hodis was calling for it, but the carom took him to the middle of the ice, and then he just falls down and sits on the puck. Hacked out, Jochums finds it. Jochums gives to Mahler. Adam Mahler, the defenseman, leads the rush up ice, near side. Throws it to the middle, played to the corner with the paddle by Ozgun. Ozgun's numbers are not going to look great after this one, but I don't think he's had a particularly bad game. Allowed 4 on 27 thus far. But the ones he's given up, he hasn't had much help on. This is Bard at his own blue line. Comes across the near side and Dietz. Dietz's pass picked off by Tui. Tui into the zone. Saw the hit coming from Bard and bailed. The Bulls take over. Big hit on the near side by Edwards on Miller, but the Bulls still into the attacking zone. Manlove down low. Manlove pokes it back to the point. Johnson, long shot, saved through a screen by Swedes. Lucas Swedin has been very good tonight as that one misses high and wide. Johnson shovels it to the middle of the ice, taken away by Jordan Gibbs. Then Parker Newman will chip it deep. Gibbs after it. Now he'll turn away as Cash Crawford won the race to it. Looks up ice. Weirin touches it into the zone, but Ty James just beat him.
If Weirin controlled that onto his stick, he might have had an opportunity with the teammate to his right.
Another awkward carom off of Stanchion. Almost caught Swedes out of the net, but it does lead to a turnover. Severson leaves for Weirin. Weirin has Johnson at the point. Johnson carries down the wall, watched by O'Hannison, who gets away with a slash. Near side, Yohala kept it away from Weirin. Could he tip it for Batten? He couldn't. Otherwise, Batten was gone. This is Weirin.
Well, Jesse Yohala got whacked in the face by Cole Weirin's
He
stick
took a
there.
high stick, but like I said, O'Hannison gets away with the slash. Weirin gets away with a high stick, and
all is well.
You call it all good, although I guarantee if you ask the players who got hit with those sticks, they probably would have liked to have seen a call. But nonetheless, defensive zone draw for the Toros as that puck ended up in their bench on the clear attempt. 6:35 left to play in regulation. Toros lead by a pair. Interestingly, and I'm not saying I want to see this, North Iowa 7-9-2 at home, 7-9-3 on the road. So nearly identical records as the Toros ice this puck. Icing is brought to you by our friends at Minot's Finest Collision Center. If the Toros were to squander this lead and see extra time, it would be a chance to make those records exactly identical as opposed to one overtime loss apart. But I think the Toros would be happy to just hand the Bulls their 10th loss in this building. This is poked at and then swatted out to neutral by Adam Mahler. It would be a hand pass, but the Toros wanted to change anyway, so everyone breaks to the bench after the icing. This is Osborne. Osborne, shot blocked by Mahler, but it goes right to Klauscher. Now there's a pile up in the paint. The Toros don't let the Bulls get a shot. McIntosh, he tries his shot. It deflects up off the far glass after hitting a skate, and now Perreault punts it down the ice. It will go for another icing.
Icing's, of course, brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. And Ken, I'd say this period, we've seen a little bit of a different game plan from the Toros. They came in with a 3-2 lead, and they laid back a little bit. They were content to dump it down and continue to chase after the puck. Then you get a score, and you see that continue, right? They are just trying to play keep away from North Iowa, trying to prevent North Iowa from racking up shots, and they've done so pretty well in the period. North Iowa just 4 shots so far in the third.
A puck rolled out front, but Swede's able to keep it out. Now a bouncing puck finds Mindorf. Mindorf bounces one on net. Bard able to clear it up as Small was pressuring. Dietz ahead for Severson. Fed into the middle. Suzuki looking to jam one home, but it's cut off by the Toros.
Suzuki might have had Weirin to his left there.
Small takes it away, feeds it ahead. Mindorf. Small's going to go to the net off the feed. Follow-up try, shot, it's in. Oh my goodness. Gavin Mindorf. What a rocket. It was stuck between the back bar and the netting. Mindorf with an absolutely, are you kidding me, type tuck for the Toros to really end the drama in this one. It's now 5-2 with 5:12 to play.
I think Kyle Oskin said, did that puck go by me? I didn't see it. I mean, Gavin Middendorf couldn't go 2 goals.
From an impossible angle. I was just thinking it myself, Evan, earlier in that shift that we hadn't seen the Middendorf goal yet, and we couldn't possibly go 2 games without a Middendorf goal. And, well, Gavin agreed and obliged. Bulls on the attack. This is Hodis. Bounces one wide of the net, but big collision on the far side now. Jordan Gibbs got the better of it, and then he's able to poke the puck out to neutral. Bulls just have to sweep it back in. We will take another look at that goal again at the next whistle because Gavin Middendorf, with his 21st of the season and the second weekend in a row with an absolute jaw-dropper, he was somehow robbed from making plays of the week last weekend. That one has to get picked. Owens rolls it down low. McIntosh rings it to the near side. Ty James pinches down the wall. Spencer stepped into. Ty James digs it out. James looks up top for Perreault. Perreault across for Owens. Owens will just bank it down low for Jockums. Jockums turns back the way he came. Up top for Ty James. James feeds for Noah Gibbs. Shot blocked. Away, and McIntosh able to carry it to the corner. Another shot tipped by Noah Gibbs goes just over the crossbar. This is James, long shot soaked up, and Noah Gibbs just unbelievably bad puck luck. Here's another look at the Middendorf goal, however.
Middendorf from the goal line. Oh, my goodness. That is absurd.
It was shot so hard it stuck between the back bar and the netting.
We got to get a radar gun at practice and let Adam Mahler and Gavin Middendorf just go at it.
Bulls control the draw. Crawford plays to the far side, picked off by Noah Gibbs, and he'll dump it in to the near side corner. Johnson finds it. Toros now also out shooting the Bulls, 30-29 as Jockums takes it away. Shot save, it pinballs around. Noah Gibbs couldn't kick to the stick as it came to him. This is Weirin. Weirin, crisscross play, shot save made, rebound, kicked in behind by Tui, who then fights through a pair of Bulls before getting it taken away on the far side by Weirin. Bulls control. Suzuki down low, trying to turn away from Owens. Owens chops it to the near corner, but Weirin cut it off, throws in front, it hit a leg, and caroms to Jockums. Jockums up for Noah Gibbs. Noah Gibbs was short of center. That was tipped, however. Again, he was taking a shot at an empty net. I didn't notice the Bulls had pulled their goaltender.
Down 3.
Down 3, but they did it with 3 minutes to play, and you're doing that again because we talked about just how desperate the Bulls are in this playoff picture. Hodis keeps it at the point. Now you start to wonder, is Lucas going to take a shot if the puck ever gets to him? Down in the corner, Ty James pins a man. It comes back to the scrum. Weirin out of the corner, throws it in front. Hodis can't find it. Crawford does. Shot soaked up by Swedin. 2:22, a palindrome on the clock here in regulation. Toros lead 5-2. Bulls have the net empty. Again, we talked about it during the intermission report brought to you by Forebears that this team is desperate. I think it was 10 points back.
Yep.
10 points back. So they need to try and at least get a point here. And at a certain point, it doesn't matter if you lose 5-2 or 7-2. As this is ahead, O'Hannesson. O'Hannesson carries to the red line. Shot for the empty net goes wide, but he at least gained the red, so no icing. Dietz. I'll tell you now, those of you who like to try and guess the home key group keys of the game, they're going to have something to do with the newest defenseman for the Bulls, who has it now. This is Dietz on the near side. Into the middle, one-timer for Osborne goes up and out of play.
Well, going back to Ohanneson's shot right there, Ohanneson might have just taken half a breath too long as the defender chasing from behind looked like he got in the way of Ohanneson's stick. Had Ohanneson shot it a little bit earlier, it might have been icing had it not been on target, but I think he would have had a cleaner shot.
Defensive zone draw for the Toros. John Small to take it. It's been a record night here in Mason City for the Toros. Why not get the franchise's first goalie goal? This off the glass, though. Mindorf might end that opportunity. He does. Mindorf, he had a game without a goal, so he had to get 2 tonight. As Mindorf finds the empty net.
Middendorf already led the Toros in goals coming into this game at 20, make it 22, as he's added on a pair coming within the last 4 minutes of play.
So now the goaltender back in for North Iowa, as the margin is now 4. This is Newman, offside play. Ramirez a little too eager. Offside brought to you by our friends at
Minotauros. Oh wait, Affinity First Federal Credit Union. We had a lot of icing earlier in the period, and I was getting into that routine. Thrown off my game.
Edwards on the draw, kicks sideways to the bull bench, and Crawford went down hard, untouched. Good to see him pop up right away. He's okay. He feeds Gustafsson, but it's an offside play as Crawford was a little eager. So the whistle goes once again. 1:24 left to go here in regulation. Toros less than a minute and a half away from the first 10-game win streak in franchise history, protecting a 4-goal lead.
And you take a look at the goalies tonight. Lucas Fedin, 29 saves, 2 goals allowed. I think a lot of goalies would be happy with that performance, but I'm not sure what Fedin thinks of that.
This is James up the far side, has it poked away. The pass for Gustafsson is off the mark. Newman chips it ahead. Ty James swats it into the zone. He had quite the fan club here tonight, the local product. We're halfway through the third in Aberdeen. It's still a Wings lead. It's 3-2 as each team has tacked 1 on in the final period. Ramirez rolls that deep. So we're in the final minute of play. It's brought to you by our friends at Northern Plains Equipment. The Bulls start up ice. Dump it in with 35 seconds left. It's gobbled up by Swedes.
And so you take a look at the other side. It was Kyle Osgun that got the start in net for the Bulls after Hirshhorn played most of that first series against the Toros. And Osgun has not fared as well. He's faced 31 shots, allowing 5 goals. And I think for the Bulls, you expect to see Hirshhorn tomorrow.
Would not shock me. Owens tossed from the draw here. Again, though, some of those early goals, I don't really fault him on. The Middendorf laser to the back of the net, he probably should have had his post closed off, but you look at the first Joachim's goal, that's a 3rd rebound. Johala's goal as a rebound. You wonder where his teammates were to clean some of those up for him, but Toros will take it. This is Noah Gibbs rolling it out to neutral. Dumped back into the Toros zone. Tui. Final 3 seconds. He'll flip it up the near side. And the whistle goes. Deemer doesn't like that Nichols tied him up. And the streak is officially 10. The longest win streak in franchise history. Jack Ohannesson, officially the leading point man in Toro history. And the Toros will go for the weekend sweep tomorrow night. Here in North Iowa. We will send it out to break and come back with the Farmers Union post-game show after these messages here on the Minotauros Network.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
When you carry blue, you get a devoted team backing you up, focused on you and your well-being, making it easier and affordable for you to make health a priority. When you carry blue, you get a health plan that anticipates your challenges, that's helping shape the future of healthcare, with more helpful tools and resources so you can get the most out of your benefits and focus more on living your best life. Find your plan today. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. Carry blue. Carry on.
I am Melissa Mack, and I do collections and loans at Aspire Credit Union.
My name is Amy Rasmussen, and I'm the Member Experience Coordinator at Aspire Credit Union.
I think it's very important to give back to our community to show that we care. I think that we're very good at showing our members we care, and they see us out in the community.
What I like most about working at Aspire Credit Union, it is very family oriented. We feel like one big happy family, and Aspire knows that your family always comes first.
I'll always remember when I first started. I showed up to work and my whole office was decorated in Mexican theme because I was going to be going to Mexico. I remember just being so shocked and so honored that they did that for me. I just think that's really special that Aspire allows us to develop those relationships with our coworkers.
We do a lot of fun things. We have the best potlucks ever. Kind of brings us together, and everyone just kind of helps each other out.
Aspire to more.
Welcome back inside the Mason City Arena, where the Toros have closed out the first 10-game win streak in franchise history. And we'll try to make it 11 tomorrow night. Let's recap this one for you. Toros fell behind in the first period. Take it away, Evan.
Initially, it was Cole Weirin who ended, after a scrum in the neutral ice, it got over to Cole Weirin. Weirin drops it back for Severson, and Severson gave the Bulls the early 1-0 lead. And the record breaker for Jacko Hannison came early in the first period. It was something the Toros probably were thinking about for a while, but they got it out of the way with just over 6 minutes to go in the first, as there it is. O'Hannison from the left wing. Toros would take a lead going into the first intermission as the puck comes the other way here. Jockham's on the right side. His first shot was saved. Another shot comes in. Jockham's had wrapped around and got in position to clean up the rebound. That made it a 2-1 game as we enter the second period. And Jockham's decided one wasn't enough. Why not one more? As he was right there in position. The puck got just through Osgun, hung on the goal line, and Jocham slapped it into the back of the net. Bulls would have a response for the Toros in the second, as this comes over for Noah Deemer, and Deemer makes it a 3-2 game. So just a 1-goal game heading into the final 20 minutes of play. And this was an absolute beauty. This is Jack O'Hannison from the left side. O'Hannison takes the low shot. Perfect for the rebound is Jesse Yahala, as Yahala finished off his 18th goal of the season. And Ken, as you said earlier, we can't go 2 games without a Gavin Middendorf goal. Middendorf from an impossible angle, a rocket.
Yeah, not much more you can say about this. Just an excellent individual effort. An absolute laser to the back of the net that fooled even the referee. We don't have the longer version of the replay, but if you watched it live, you saw the referee went back and had to look in the net because the puck was shot so hard it wedged in between the back bar and the netting, so it never came out. It never fell to the ice. So the officials couldn't even believe what they saw, but eventually upon further review, it was inside the goal. Also, Gavin Mindorf tacked on his 22nd of the year, an empty netter that removed any drama from the end of this one. Let's take a look at those out-of-town Central Division scores. We won't run you through all the games. St. Cloud Norsemen have put up 2 in the third period. They're pushing back just under 5 minutes to play. It's 6-4 Austin in the MAC. The Shamrocks have tacked on 3 more in the third. It's 7-4. The Shamrocks get the win over the Mallards. They end their losing streak, get their 10th win of the year. Do the Shamrocks, and the game we care probably most about out of all of them in the Central Division, Aberdeen up 3-2 on the Bobcats with 6:23 to play in regulation. Let's look at the Forebears over-unders to close out our interactive games. Toros power play opportunities, that went under 3.5. Toros goals allowed, that went under 2.5. And Toros shot differential, that went under 2 at plus 5.5. So if you're a player like Kobe who loves to hammer the unders, you got yourself a Forebears over-under stay and play package. Austin Espy took Kobe Braltsevice, hammered the unders, and he wins the stay and play package. Austin, you can pick that up at merchandise at the Toros' next home game. That's Friday against Bismarck. And our McDonald's Toros trivia. What is the Toros' record for shots on goal in a game? Your choices were 70, 66, 62, or 58. The correct answer, 66. 54.5% of you had the winning answer there. Only one of you gets the free lunch. It's our friend Danny Held. Long drive in from Narnia, Dan, to pick up your prize next Friday at the Mesa Arena. That'll do it for the interactive games. We did out-of-town scores. Final thoughts on a record night here in Mason City, Evan?
You know, you look back at the Watertown series, and this game seemed almost identical. It was still a little bit of a slow, sluggish start for the Toros. They got to figure out how to come out hot over those first 10 minutes, but that was the only thing you could possibly complain about this game. An absolute clinic in the third period in closing a game. You take a 3-2 lead into the final 20 minutes, and you add on another 3 as they picked up, as you said, their 10th win in a row, a historic night.
30th win on the season, which means even if the Toros lose out, they're a 500 team. I got a feeling that's not going to happen. Toros look to make it 11 in a row tomorrow night. The other record right there on your screen, Jacko Hannison, Toros' all-time point leader. He only needed 1. He tacked on 2 this evening to get to 120 points, the most ever. 119 was the record. Toros' all-time leader in goals with 49 now. I believe he's got to be getting close to the assist total too. I don't have that off the top of my head though, but either way, Jacko Hannison pretty much owns the Toro record book. A record night here in Mason City. Toros will look to tack onto those records tomorrow here as they go for the sweep and set up a big game against the Bismarck Bobcats next Friday on the Pepsi rink at Mesa Arena. Until then, for Grace Sandy, Kobe Brault, Edward Neiman, Evan Epstein, I'm Ken Oda, hoping you enjoyed the broadcast. We know you enjoyed the outcome. We'll talk to you tomorrow night at 6:15 for the Farmers Union pregame show.